This is Calvin Castine. Welcome to another portion of our 6 days in December tour. We're going around to all the towns in our Channel 24 hometown cable viewing area. And at this point, we've done the town of Moores, Champlain, Chazy, and Altona. And we're now in the town of Ellenburg, and we're in Sam Trombley's driveway here. We have Sam Trombley at the wheel.
Yes, good morning, Calvin.
Yeah, we'll hear more about Sam as we drive around. He's going to take us on a tour of Ellenburg. And as we're leaving his home and his place of business here, the clubhouse and the campsites and so on, we're looking at a building you built, Sam.
Yeah, the Methodist Church, yes.
Okay.
Yep, I forget what year it was. I think it was in the mid-'70s.
No steeple on it.
No steeple on it, though. We did get a tower up at the prior house here just recently.
Okay, let's hit the road.
Okay.
Sam's going to take us into Merrill first. We'll go through Ellenburg Center, I would imagine.
Yes.
You're our tour guide here, so
Okay.
we're relying heavily on you.
Yeah.
It's a bright, sunny day, so those of you who've seen the other tours know that it's tough when we're looking in the direction of the sun, as we are right at this point here. So,
Well, you couldn't have picked a better day.
well, actually, for our purposes, with that low sun this time of the year, a few clouds wouldn't hurt. We're going by the Northern Adirondack Comfort Motel and LeBare's Store and Deli. There's a nice article in the paper over the weekend on the LeBare family. And,
Oh, yeah, nice family, yeah.
tragedies they've
Yep.
they haven't
They
lost their
overcome.
lives, but the physical tragedies they've had here with the floods and everything.
Just to tell you what kind of people they are, when they had the gas pumps there, of course, I had the snow removal at Northern Adirondack, and they would just give me the key for the store and go in any time of the night, and they really trusted me. And those are just a small example of what kind of people they are.
Very gullible, you're saying, right?
just beautiful people. What speed do I go?
Go to speed limit, Sam.
Oh, okay.
I know you don't usually go that fast, but for those of you who've ever seen Sam Trombley driving in a parade, you know that he always keeps the car in gear. Even when he gets out and brings candy to the judges, the car is still in gear.
Yeah, I forget to take it out of gear once in a while. I get all excited.
And we're hoping, Sam, that this tape will be viewed in future years, 50, 100 years from now, and so on.
It'd be a perfect souvenir.
Look at what the towns look like at the end of the millennium, the end of the century, the end of the decade. December 1999. Today is the 23rd, 2 days before Christmas. And I appreciate you taking time off from a hectic schedule. You're busy enough as it is without falling into the Christmas time.
Well, it was nice of you to take the time to come up to Ellenburg. We're happy to have you. More than happy to have you.
All right.
Now, how about Clinton? Are we going to be able to get Clinton? We don't want to forget Cherubasco.
Well, they're not in our viewing area. It depends. Depends how much time we have left.
Oh, okay. I didn't realize that.
No, there's no cable, and
Huh.
the cable goes through on Route 11.
Oh.
But the town fathers, I think, could have probably insisted on getting the cable to a few residents, but they made an agreement just to let the cable go through because it ties in, of course, with Chateauguay down through Route 11.
Oh, so I just learned something.
But there are no cable hookups anywhere in the town of Clinton.
We have a successful farmer here, Lauren LeBoom Farm.
Okay, I'm shooting out the window.
Oh, okay, on the right.
Yeah.
Okay.
And hopefully on the way back we'll be able to see those farms.
Yeah, okay.
Trouble is with that sun, it's going to be tough on that side of the road. The roads that will be going up, some roads will be going up and won't be coming back on that particular road. I'll shoot out the front of the window,
Okay.
the windshield, and then the roads will be coming back and forth on. I'll be shooting out the side window.
Talking about roads, that's one of our prime projects is good roads. Everybody wants good roads. We're fortunately here, county rebuilt this one here just 2 years ago.
It's one of the many county roads, and for future generations, Sam is a county legislator representing Legislative District 2.
Yes.
In the past, he has been the chairman of the county legislature, and he's just finishing a tenure as the majority leader.
Yes.
And how long have you held the office of county legislator, Sam?
Pardon?
How long have you been county legislator?
It'll be 18 years in May.
Right out of high school, then, right?
Yeah, pretty much so.
Well, actually, now what I've insisted, Sam, is that everyone who's taken us on one of these tours, I'm going to tell us how old you are. We're just going to tell us what year you were born.
Well, 1937. Yeah, March. I don't know what time of the day it was. I never thought to ask my mom.
That's all right. Just so an idea that people 100 years from now will know where the person talking, how old they were and what part of the century they were born. Did you get to see that full moon last night? We had the biggest moon that we'll ever see in our lifetime.
That's right, and I never. Of course, it was meeting night. By the time I got home, it was late, and trying to wrap up gifts. And
well, the moon was out because I left NAC I did a wrestling match last night. Left NAC about 10:30, and the moon was still out a little bit. I shot it earlier in the evening with my camera. But it was a full moon, and it was the first day of winter, and
that's right, first day of winter.
And the moon was at its closest to the Earth, and it's a sight that we see, according to the meteorologists, every 130 years. When we come back, we'll take a little tour through Ellenburg Center.
Yeah, okay.
We'll see in the town hall.
Town hall. Dupree's grocery store there. Yeah, this was quite active at one time when I was a youngster. We'd all bring our milk to the factory in the morning, and that's where all the farmers would congregate.
Train went through here then, right?
No, the train went through Ellenburg Depot.
But didn't come this way?
No, and then from Ellenburg Depot it would follow the Canadian border. It went through Cherubusco. And but talking about meteorologists and the train, it reminds me back then we had no meteorologists, and being on the farm, you had to go by guessing what the weather was, and so especially in the summertime, if the whistle, we could always hear the whistle because it wasn't that far away, the tracks from the farm, and if the whistle was loud and clear, my father would say, well, we can cut hay down because it's going to be nice tomorrow, and by golly, it always worked out. And if it was a faint whistle, well, then it was a sign of rain and bad weather.
Well, it probably had a lot to do with the air pressure and the way the wind was blowing, I imagine.
Yeah, whatever it was, there was a lot of truth to it.
We didn't have the Weather Channel to look at.
No.
Now you're going over the speed limit here, Sam. I want to point that out.
Oh, okay, you did say the speed limit. Yeah. I'm not used to your car.
I know. This is very easy in this car.
Wow.
I've been driving a different one, and I just switched there to let my wife have the front wheel drive for the winter. And all of a sudden, I find myself going 70 miles an hour when I don't intend to.
Okay, so I'm not.
It's very easy.
Oh yeah, you don't have to step on it much.
No, and these roads look like they've had some
sanding this morning. Yes.
Yeah, some snow overnight.
Yeah, just enough to grease them up.
Now we're heading toward Merrill, which is
westward, yeah,
the western corner of the town of Ellenburg.
Emptying their milk tanks here.
Ellenburg probably has as many farms active at this stage in our century as any of our local towns, I'd guess. I'd probably say probably more than any other town.
I do know they'd be one of the tops. There's probably not as many, but they're larger. The farmers are buying out neighbors,
right.
And this dairy agricultural area, that's for sure. This is our prime industry in Ellenburg, the only industry, I guess I should say. This is the pizzas here.
Now, obviously, back in the days when you'd bring that milk to the milk plant in Ellenburg Center, there were a lot of farms. Huh?
Oh yeah. Well, we'd have to line up, waiting to get to the. Of course, it was milk cans back then, you know. And we had the rollers, and the rollers would bring the cans up.
So you didn't have a milkman picking up the milk?
Oh no. Of course, we were so close. Our farm was close, and and I remember, we would deliver our milk with horses. My father always used the horses as much as possible, and we bring the milk to the factory with the horses.
Why have the extra expense of paying?
Yeah, that's right. We had them hitched up anyway, to take care of the animal waste. Had them hitched up for we used horses a lot on the farm. We're going to stay in the town of Ellenburg, so we'll take this road here, or do you want to stay up in Route 190 and go to Merrill?
No, we want to do Ellenburg, so Ellenburg ends up ahead here, is that what you're saying?
About a mile ahead.
Okay. Yeah, the whole idea is to show Ellenburg, so
we'll stay right in them,
Now, will we be coming back on this road, or will we be taking a different road on the way back?
We'll probably go down, we'll probably take another route down.
Okay. I'll shoot out the front window then.
Okay.
And this road here hasn't been sanded. It's not a heavily traveled road.
No.
So we are risking our lives here this morning, Sam.
Well, you're in good hands here, then. So what I wanted to say when we were talking about horses, and then of course we always, our secondary income was, we had a wood market, and so after the tours we'd always cut wood, and our wood lot was about 3 miles away from the home farm. Oftentimes when we'd get up there, a storm would set in, and I can remember days that we couldn't even see a hand ahead of us, and would you believe we just tied the lines on the dashboard of the sleigh, and those horses would find their way home.
Wow.
Yeah, I remember that several times.
They had the instinct to know where to go.
Yep.
Which road is this we're on?
With the 911, we'll have to check down here. They used to be the Peach Road. I think it still is the Peach Road.
Yeah, 911 is enhanced. 911 is something we've heard about throughout our tours, and several roads were changed so that there's no confusion for the out-of-town firemen or fire people that were responding to emergencies.
And through the ice storm, we found where it was used a lot. Our 911 system was our salvation.
Stop sign up ahead here.
Yeah. Now we're coming out to Spear Hill here.
Dead end road ahead, so we're going to be taking a right.
Now that road right there ahead of us, that would bring you right to the right into Merrill.
Okay.
But it's
seasonal road.
Seasonal road now.
We'll be coming back in this stretch here, or not?
Either this one here, or we can go around the other 374.
I'm using your judgment here, Sam.
Okay.
We want to fit as much as we can, and we obviously can't go down every little side road. We've got 2.5 hours.
Yeah, or tell you what, we could go come back through Lime Mountain. That would be pretty much, that would be pretty much in the... did you do the Dannemar and Lime Mountain?
No.
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 We wouldn't hit too much of the Lime Mountain area coming down through 374 and the Bradley Pond Road. And then there's a short section of Route 190 that we didn't hit. I guess we can't hit them all.
No, we're trying to fit it all in a 2.5 hour tape, and it's surprising when you go up and down a road.
How fast time goes by.
Especially when you're having fun.
Yes.
And I've had fun in this. It's been an interesting trips for us. Of course, did the first one of these back in 1989.
Oh, you did?
Before we did What's Going On Here.
Oh.
Bob Ben and I.
Yeah, Bob Ben.
I think it was the 31st that I finally got him available to drive, and he and I drove around the town of Champlain. All we did was the town of Champlain back in 1989.
Okay.
And end of a decade. We thought of doing it every 10 years, but as we got closer and closer to the end of this decade, and people started talking not only about the end of the century but the end of the millennium, it's really taken on new meaning, and it just became a thing that I felt we just had to do. Just had to do this.
What a wonderful idea, and what a gift and souvenir this will be for many of us.
And the nice thing is, they can turn the volume down. They don't have to listen to us either, Sam.
Yeah, exactly. Just watch the...
They can put on some music and then not even listen to us.
Yeah. Well, this is a great idea you have.
This road here is open for development.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's important to show some of these back roads with nothing on them, because who knows 50 years what's going to be here.
Exactly.
I know just driving down my stretch of road and the Ridge Road in Champlain.
How it's built up.
Yep, in the last 50 years,
Yeah.
just incredible.
I mean, just the view here. Look at the view, you know.
Yep. Yeah, we were coming through here in the green.
Now here's a new dairy barn that's being built here. FEMA, during the ice storm, the existing barn went down, and so we had some FEMA money.
Which farm is this, Sam?
This is a LeBombard farm.
Several LeBombards in the
Yes, yeah.
Ellenburg area with farms.
All good people, and, hard workers, intelligent people.
You're really pandering to the voters here, Sam.
Well, you got to tell it as it is. I mean, like this Lorne LeBombard that I was telling you earlier about. I mean, that guy can make anything out of nothing. But that's how farmers exist, you know. They've got to be welders, veterinarians.
Farmers have always have to have been a jack of many trades.
Yep.
And now more than ever, if you're not a smart farmer, you're just not in business.
Yep,
and
exactly.
There's a lot of smart farmers that are out of business.
Yeah. Well, because they never learned a second trade like welding, electrical, mechanic. Unfortunately, it's not everybody that has the time.
Mechanically inclined.
Yeah, exactly.
This is a nice, interesting little curve here.
Yes, probably one of the most crucial ones here.
Yeah, it's quite dangerous here.
But isn't this quite a view up here?
Yes. Yeah, I enjoy taking this route up here. Like, you know, if I'm going to Lion Mountain, I got a little extra time in my hands, I'll come this way.
Oh,
or not this road here, but the other road. Go through Merrill and just looking out the back rear view mirror sometimes.
Yeah.
What's behind you is almost as nice as what's in front of you.
Especially in the foliage season. Over 30% of our tag space comes right out of Merrill here. That's quite interesting.
Because of Chateauguay Lake?
Because of the water frontage, yeah.
That's incredible.
Yeah. So we sort of have to pay attention to these people up here.
Alright,
now we're coming to the intersection of 374.
Should we backtrack a little bit here, Sam, then come back this way? What do you think?
However you want to do it.
Let's go back and see where... Is there much this way, this direction of Ellenburg? We turn right?
No. Oh, I see. Backtrack. No, not that much. Probably. Well, see where the green sign is?
Yeah, the green sign.
Yeah, less than a quarter of a mile.
Okay, so we won't bother. Okay. Alright, so we won't be coming back this way then?
Let's think about that one there. There's two other ways, you know, back to Ellenburg.
Okay, well, we'll shoot out the front window then.
Okay. Like you said, we want to try to get it on for time. I'd like to hit every road, but I know it's going to be impossible.
We'll hit the roads with the most voters, Sam.
Well, they're all important. I wouldn't want to make that choice.
Yeah, I know. It's been tough. Well, everyone we've taken, we've had to make some decisions, and I'm sure there'll be some people that are going to be disappointed that
left out.
Their roads aren't on there, but it's just a matter of...
we'll try to work them all in.
We want to make it manageable, and I think a 2.5 hour, 2 hour and 40 minute
We get the
tape
majority.
is you know, not too long. We wanted to do every road on every town and dragged it out, then we'd probably have 10 hours on every town. That's just too much for people to sit and watch.
To watch at one time. You know, I didn't realize the lake could be froze over. I guess the temperature has been down there for the last couple of days.
I noticed driving up the river, there's a lot of places there was ice on the river.
Icing, yeah. Yeah, and this is what they call the Narrows up here. This is where the current is the swiftest. This is the last to freeze over here.
Now, there are two Chateauguay lakes, Upper Chateauguay and Lower Chateauguay?
Upper, yeah.
So
Upper Chateauguay Lake is up towards Lime Mountain, and Lower Chateauguay Lake is down by Burnesville.
Okay, and this is the Narrows through
This
here.
is the Merrills through here, yes.
Any idea where Merrill got its name? Was it obviously an old...
Yeah, we'll drive around his place. They were a popular family. They had their own boathouse, made boats, so I understand, built boats.
Shooting right March.
A lot of new homes, as you can see here. I'd bring you over on the other side, but you get a better view on them
Right.
from them right from this side. And
this is all in the town of Ellenburg. It's,
Yep.
But do these people identify more with Chateauguay than they do with Ellenburg, or?
no, I don't think so. I wouldn't dare to say. I don't ask.
If they need to.
Now here's a nice home right here. This is Wayne Cashman's house. See how the lake comes right up to the road there. We've lost some road frontage here for building lots, but we try to tuck them in there.
Again, I want to point out that there's been snow up here, and the roads have a little glaze, a little bit of snow, a little bit of clearness.
This is the narrows here, and then of course we go across but like I said, all what you'd get is forest there. You wouldn't be able to get a good shot.
You wouldn't see the homes because the trees are in the way.
I do want to bring you up to our polling place. It's the oldest polling place in Clayton County.
At the schoolhouse?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Now this is Hollywood. Russ here's. This is a popular place. They also have the boat launch there. We have a state boat launch.
A lot of ice fishing goes on in Chateauguay Lake.
Yeah.
Now we're going to Schutz Road.
Yes. Popular family in, we call it Chateauguay Lake, better known as Merrill. And the town's been up here. They got descended.
Oh, we won't be coming back down this road?
No, we'll go right around it. This road goes completely around, brings you back out on 374. Here again, as you see, there's a lot of undeveloped land here that I'm sure someday this will be developed. A lot of good land. It's high. It would drain well.
Just
a matter of getting the right people to come in,
People don't mind being a little further away from
the
malls. Where they work and so on.
The convenience.
That's a big factor. Of course, a lot of people right now working for the prison system. This is a good location here if you're living in Chateauguay, Malone area. Right dead center, Dannemora, Altona or Lime Mountain. Yeah, this would be a perfect area. They're not sharp curve up ahead here. Yeah, let's see the sign. There's a blue house on our left. Have we got time to go up to the polling? I'd like to. Well, certainly. We'll take time. Because we're sort of proud of that. I always wondered where that old schoolhouse was. I'll shoot out the front here because we won't bother shooting back and forth. I'll just shut the camera off on our way back. Okay. So you poll out here in the wilderness there, then, huh? Oh yeah. This is the only road to the polling place, too, obviously. Yes. Just before, remember when we came off Beach Road, I brought to your attention the dead end road or all season. This road would bring you right through. Nice stone wall here. Yeah, isn't that nice? It's a nice home. Yeah. Who lives there? I couldn't tell you. He could, but he doesn't want to. Here it is. Okay. It's nice. They're putting in new windows, and they're trying to restore it. And you had a teacher that just drive up a little bit more, Sam, so I can get it right now side view. There we go. That's good. Yeah, you had a teacher who was Gadway. Gadway, Mrs. Gadway. Yep, this is where she taught, and passed away recently. She had just and she was proud of this building, and and she had every reason to, Right. There we go. And the town is restoring it, as you can see. The new windows are in, and the chimney and the bell tower and everything is still right there. And the senator and Assemblyman Ortlaws, they all like to, and all the county and state politicians like to come up and visit this. So you get a beautiful view of the lake here. And look all the land that's vacant here, and it's just going to, the hay's not being cut. Yeah, well, this is a nice view, a spectacular view.
If I was younger, and being a builder, I'd come up and I'd be interested in developing this.
Well, you're never going to be any younger than you are right now, Sam. You realize that, right?
Yeah, you're right. But what a nice development this would be.
Certainly a place with a spectacular view.
Yeah, you have the mountains in the back. I mean, that's a real postcard picture there.
Definitely, that's great. I'm going to definitely make this a little trip next fall.
Oh yeah, in the foliage there. It's
yeah.
This is the Gilmores, our Judge Gilmore here, and of course they're related. She was the Shutts, so they're all pretty much family related.
So there was a little settlement back in this part. Is this?
Oh yeah, as you can see.
Is this Merrill here more
yes,
than on the?
Yes.
Than on Route 374. Is this more what we'd call Merrill through here?
Merrill, exactly. Yeah, they have almost their own little village right here.
Yeah, see, I've never been through this portion.
Yeah. Peaceful and back here. And nice Christmas decorations. They got the spirit. Did you notice? It seems that everybody's got more of a spirit.
Leonard Welch.
Yes. Yeah. You know Leonard, retired
school board.
And school board member, retired CO.
Yeah, you're talking about the spirit, Sam.
I find where there's everybody's decorated, and they seem to have. Everybody seems to have the spirit this year more than before, unless it's just me.
There does seem to be a lot more with a lot of decorations.
Yeah, you noticed it also.
And I noticed those bicycle lights are very popular this year.
Yeah, I haven't gotten a set of those yet. I see a set the other night, really nice. They're in blue. And God, are they nice.
Okay, so we'll just shoot back that way. And
which one? Okay.
I'm just shooting down that direction, and there's a little store here in the corner. That's the thing open. What's this?
This is a liquor store here.
Okay.
That's been there for many, many years. Oh, I wanted to. Can I just bring you around my corner over here?
Well, certainly. You're the driver.
When we talk about the Merrills, show you where they were born and brought up.
That's exactly the type of stuff that we're hoping to get.
Yep. Blanche, this is Mr. Blanche's liquor store.
Barlow Liquor and Wines, it says.
Just ahead of us, would you believe that Cheryl Bush's house? I built that years ago, and I built several buildings. Ellenburg here. Yeah, and he just passed away here about a month ago. And, but what a sight he had over there.
Yeah,
you know.
view of the lake.
Yeah. They call this a sandbar here. They can walk out for hundreds of feet. Now this is the boathouse, I'm told, the original. See, well, it's got Ridge A. Merrill right on there, sharpening woodwork. And they built boats. And I don't know what else they did. He'd be an interesting guy to interview sometimes. He's located at the Lime Mountain Mountaintop Housing.
Okay.
A real interesting guy.
Don't want to drive too far to the side over there.
No, we go over. But isn't this nice?
Obviously, there was a house here. The chimney was.
The chimney's still there. Yeah. I think they're letting the residents use that for a little swimming area. Yeah, that lake is all frozen. The buoys, all you can see is the buoys. Here about 8 years ago, of course they were hitting stones, so the state did come in with me, and it took us all one day. We located the buoys. Now you know about the Dowds, eh? This is where, they generate their power up in Chateauguay.
Oh no.
Yeah, that's where they go.
Okay.
Now we're back on 374 here, we're just making a move. I just wanted to bring to your attention Mr. Merrill's.
All right, we're about half an hour into our tour, a little trip around the town of Ellenburg. as it appeared in December of 1999, 2 days before Christmas, in fact.
Yeah, right on us, isn't it?
Getting some white specks in the windshield here. This windshield was clean, but as we drive around, we get, I don't know if the wipers would streak it or...
I don't know. Are you fixed up good with windshield washer?
Well, there's some in there. I didn't check the volume.
Now we're coming
to the town of Dannemora, so I'm going to shut the camera off here because we don't want to shoot Dannemora. Just can't be allowed. But I'm going to shut the camera off here as we get into the town of Dannemora. I'm going to point this out, Sam. We're on the Bradley Pond Road.
Yes.
And we just came here, and we left unplowed roads. I mean, unsanded roads. And as soon as we got to Ellenburg, the roads were sanded.
Yeah, but you can see a good coat.
Yeah, nice coating of sand here. We went up to the American Legion in Line Mountain and came down the Bradley Pond Road.
Yep, you got it.
This is the section here that hasn't been rebuilt yet, I guess.
Yeah, this is the only section that's left, but it's on the calendar to be rebuilt next year, 2000.
This road has suffered a lot of damage between the flood of '96 and the ice storm of '98, and then the flood of '96.
A good memory.
And the flood of '98 too. The flood of '98, it took one pounding after another.
Yeah, we had 3 right in a row. You got a good memory. You cover a large area. Well, the main reason for this road here is that, as you know, Line Mountain is in our school district, and they were ripping those school buses apart. The teachers that had to travel this road.
And the students,
and the students, safety.
Families come down to a ball game or whatever.
Exactly.
They got to bounce up and down this road. And this is about 8-9 miles.
Line Mountain, they're all sport oriented. They're right into sports. Good athletes come out of Line Mountain. They're known as baseball. They like to play baseball. They do it well.
Yeah, well, that's one thing when Line Mountain, Ellenburg, and Altona merged. You had 3 strong baseball programs.
Mm-hmm.
All 3 known for their baseball. Of course, Altona's, they've got Feinberg Park, and they live and die for baseball too.
Oh, yeah.
But Line Mountain was the town in this area that was noted for baseball. Their town team ball has been legendary.
It's still right to this day.
Yeah. And I want you to know, if Sam slides off these roads here, we'll keep the camera running.
Yeah, they are a little. It's a good thing they sanded them.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's one thing. They maintain their roads well.
Might as well mention Gerald LeBaire's name, the highway superintendent.
Highway superintendent, yes.
Sharp curve up here, Sam.
Yeah.
Sam scares me here.
I remember coming, I was in a hurry one Saturday afternoon. We were going to the Chase's 50th anniversary, and we had a banquet at our place of business the same day, and so I wanted to make the anniversary, so I'm making this curve. It had been raining, and my car slid right sideways in the road, and I stopped, and I made the sign to cross, and just as I did, 3 sheep crossed the road. I said, I can't believe this.
Another sharp one up here.
Yeah.
A lot of sharp curves in this stretch of road.
But would you believe you very seldom hear of an accident, totally.
Well, let's not
push it, eh?
Yeah.
Of course, it's mainly all native people, and they're familiar with it. This was the Gregory family that lived in this area here. They were hard workers, farmers, woodcutters. There's
a little road that goes off. This is now it's down further, huh?
This is the Brent Trombley, the guy that was just elected supervisor.
Oh, the new town supervisor?
Yeah, he was just elected in November. That's where his mom lives. She was a neighbor of mine when we were born, right up on the farm. They were just across the highway from us.
Any relation?
Distance relation. I think we're third. We would be third cousins.
My grandmother was a Trombley from the Moores.
Oh, from Moores.
Yeah. Yeah, we're related to Father White, Monsignor White.
Oh.
His mother was a Trombley.
Oh, you never told me that. I didn't realize that.
Nice beef cattle to our
Nice
left.
beef cattle, they aren't they in nice shape?
Yeah.
They're well fed. They can withstand the weather. And this was a LeClaire farm. See, there's another vacant farm here, but the land is being taken care of. They all cut.
Log cabins to our right.
Yeah. Nice house just built up to our right there. I see that. Now with the ground frozen, makes it good for the loggers, the woodsmen. They can get around in the woods much better.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of all this cutting that's going on in our woods.
Well, especially the clear cutting.
I guess they're not supposed to clear cut, but if they get back in there a few miles, they sometimes feel they can get away with it. But I think that's contributed to our floods in recent years is the fact that a lot of our trees have been cut down and they're not there to absorb the rain.
Oh?
Just
I've heard that. I didn't know how much truth there was to it.
Well, it's just my speculation. I don't know how much truth there is to it too, but that's, a lot of trees have been cut and we've had a lot of flooding in the last 3-4 years.
But there again, you need the wood material to build. You need the pulp for paper.
But, just how much is too much? It's just a question now. And with farmers trying to stay in business, they can get money out of their woodlot. You can't fault them for selling the wood.
No, they need that secondary income. This was the Williamson place there that we just went by. They're all deceased now, and they were farmers and horsemen too.
Back in the old days when you were going in the woods, you'd only take the best trees because.
Oh no, my father would never cut down a tree. The first thing we had to do was tour the whole area and just cut up the down trees before we got into the. Oh yes, I'm glad you mentioned that. Yeah, I forgot about that. Oh yeah, we wouldn't cut down a tree until everything was exactly.
After you got the down ones, then you could worry about.
Then
what else you wanted.
Yeah. Yeah, we had a good wood. Of course, a lot of people burnt wood back then.
Yeah.
And the only one. I don't know if there's anybody left that would sell Reynolds. Mrs. Reynolds would be the only one left that was one of our customers. I can remember delivering wood down there at 10:30 at night. This is Lawrence Trombley's place here. He had a whole lot of bad luck and lost his house, but picked himself right back up and rebuilt.
Nice big house.
Yeah, he built a nice house.
I've been battling a cold for the last 3-4 weeks.
Yep. I've had it for 2 weeks. I can't believe I came down. I wanted to get the flu shot too.
Well,
and never did.
Gordy Little got the flu shot, and then he's had the flu twice.
And he had it so.
It just I talked to Dr. Southwick has been on a couple of these tours with us there, and he said that flu shot works for that particular strand of flu. So if you get a different flu strand that isn't isn't going to help you.
You need that special vaccine for.
Yeah, so they give you a flu shot for the predominant strand that's going around this year, but there's a lot of other.
This was a Magoon. They had their own little area there at one time, both sides of the road. This is our Ellenburg town garage. County Highway Department, County Town Highway Department. I'll just slow up here a little bit.
And
they're well fixed on equipment, as you can see.
Yeah.
We're in town of Ellenburg. It's in good shape for equipment.
And we're in Ellenburg Center. And,
yes.
To those of us just driving through Ellenburg, you don't always realize that Ellenburg Center is in the center of Ellenburg.
Yep. They have their new fire station. That new fire station. That's just.
Well, let's go up there by the old dam and so on.
Okay.
Take a spin in that direction.
Yeah, they had their own little fairground up there too. I can remember as a kid they'd race horses there. They had the racetrack when Mr. Hobbs fire station, and this is their Methodist church. We just put the
Lucy Hobbs.
Lucy Hobbs, yes. I think you covered that too, didn't you?
Yeah, Lucy Hobbs Taylor.
Yeah, the first dentist doctor that came right was born and brought up right here in Ellenburg.
First American female dentist.
Yep. What a day that was. This was the dam, the Hobbs, when they were in the they had the sawmill, and but during the flood, as you can see, it went down.
Yeah.
And, we thought we could get the money to rebuild it, but evidently we just couldn't do it. The road is blocked over here where their fairgrounds were here, but anyway, like I said, they had I can remember having their own tracks there. They'd race horses.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
The Ellenburg Center was a thriving community. There's probably people, a good number of people, Sam, in our Channel 24 viewing area in the 5 northern tier towns who've never had reason to venture into Ellenburg Center.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not on Route 11. It's not on a main.
No.
So unless you're going to Lion Mountain through this direction,
Yeah.
or
And of course, Route 11 is the main route.
yeah.
So I can just give you a view. As you can see, it was a half-mile drive. And
Firemen play softball right now.
yeah. And the 4th of July, this was a big thing. It was a 2-day event here. I can remember calling bingo here for the firemen's, and like I said, they had some good horse racing.
You're a horse race man.
Well, my son is in it now. Would you believe he's racing down at Blue Bonnet? Well, it's they call it Hippocrone now. He had a good year. And, in fact, he took one of the big races there last in September. The trotter, he bought him and broke him on the side of the road. He just bought another one there at their auction here on the Canadian Thanksgiving Day. That's when they have the big auction. But it was too expensive sport for me to stay in. I raced and had a horse in Saratoga and raced him locally, but I never got into it.
Fire station.
Yeah, they've got a nice fire station here. Shamrock here. This was really busy. Would you believe there was a store?
There's a good truck coming here, Sam. So.
Yeah, there was a store. There was 5 stores here when I was a kid. This was a store here, the Patnode store. That Mrs. Blow had her store over there.
Truck's coming around.
Yeah,
us.
I'm gonna let him go by.
Yeah. He's got the right of way. He carries more weight than
I can remember one night, of course, back then we used to get a lot of company. You know how relatives used to visit relatives.
Yeah.
And of course, you always had to have a lunch before you go. And so Mrs. Blow had the store over here, and she had a big railing across there. And of course, I always had a horse. And so my mother sent me up to get some bread, and it was about 9:45. She was ready to close, so I tied my horse on the rail. I ran in to get the bread, and when I came out, he had made a mess on her stand. Well, anyway, she got the dustpan and the broom and had me clean that mess before I left. But it's strange how all those memories come back now. And this Shamrock, this has been here for many years. This was the existing post office here. That's the old post office.
Now, they've done a lot with the town hall there.
Oh yeah, they're always well maintained, and then the religious group really fixed this site here up.
Is that the Eastern Star, the Masons,
mhm.
and so on? Yeah,
And then here 3 years ago, the upstairs theater was all redone, and through the summer now they hold. Matter of fact, that's where I do my Elvis Presley act. This is the old milk station here. This brings back a lot of memories.
Where you used to haul your milk cans,
Yeah.
huh?
Now we would stop right here, and the rollers would start right about here, and we'd put our cans on. They would go in, and this was the area right here where Mr. Hobb, he was the milk tester. I remember taking all the cans off the covers of the cans and smell them. He smelt all the milk, and then the empty cans. Then we'd go in the bag, and that's where the empty cans would come out, all washed. And then, of course, back then we used to take a lot of water back home to water our young cattle, especially in the wintertime, and we'd bring back all the cans filled with water. And they did, and of course, hot water was available too, and so that's where we got our hot water.
Rinse the cans out,
yeah,
put you some water in
exactly.
the sides.
And never ran out of water. They must have quite the well here. And there was a store right over there where that vacant lot is, and the county was generous enough. They turned that over to the town of Ellenburg for a future parking lot. This was a store here. This was a Rebidoux store, and this was another Blow store. This was the husband of Mrs. Blow. Mrs. Blow had a store. Mr. Blow had a store, and they all made a living.
They both had a store?
Yeah, yeah, man and wife, and they all made a living.
Huh.
Yeah, and these were...
well, people weren't hopping in their car and going to Sam's Club.
Back then, no. And that was Mr. Hobbs there. He had his sawmill, and he always had building materials. And yeah, he ran right up to just recently there. And then you shot that while we were on our way up to Merrill. That's the road we took when we went to Merrill.
Yeah, well, let's go up, though. I want to shoot it on the way back.
Oh, okay, good.
I'm going to shut off here because
Okay.
we shot this side on the right, but we're going to shoot it on the way back.
Okay.
The hamlet.
Yeah, that's right. Okay.
All right, we're shooting again. We're going to be turning around here at 111 West Hill Road.
Mm-hmm. These are two new houses that was built just recently. Russell Torville from California, I believe that's where he's still at. Yells here over Trombley. He's a small mechanic business there. Yells out back. And used to be the Torvilles. Used to live here, an aunt and uncle of mine. This was another Hobbs place. They'd raise foxes. You know Hobbs Motel in Plattsburgh?
Mm-hmm.
They left from here and went to Plattsburgh, and but they would raise fox for furs. I can just barely remember that. They had a nice view here too. They had the dam there, the pond, Ellenburg Pond, but you get a good shot of it right there where the ice storm, the flood,
Yeah,
took it.
96.
Yeah, it took it in, and that's when I got washed out.
Came down and got your dam.
Yeah, when I was being flooded, and then when this dam here went, I mean, there was just such a volume of water that's when I got washed out. Dupree's store here, Dupree's grocery store again. And this is what they call Brandy Brook Road here.
We'll go up and down this one, and we'll come back and go down. Go back down.
Back down there instead
190.
of going down the new Route 190. This is their new post office here now in Ellenburg Center. And this Carlson Road, did you want to go around there or?
I'm using your judgment, Sam.
Okay.
We've got 49 minutes gone here.
Is that right? Almost over three-quarters of an hour already.
Yeah.
Mr. Carlson, he ran a big business for several years. He had his fuel tanks here, and then one of the tanks created a leak, and I don't need to tell you what that cost to get cleaned out. That put a lot of people out of business, and so this is what they call Carlson Street here. Pretty heavily elevated. It's just about, oh, look at the decorations here. They've got the spirit.
Yeah, they got reindeer and snowman
North
and
Pole.
the nativity scene.
Yeah, very well.
I always like people have a big display that if they include the nativity scene,
Yeah,
and I'm
yeah,
a little more impressed with it.
yeah. That's all we do. That's what it's all about.
If it weren't for that nativity scene, we wouldn't be ending.
Yeah.
We wouldn't be starting a new millennium, would we?
Yep, exactly. Right on. There.
Alright, I'm going to shut it off again. We'll pick up at the post office. Yeah. Alright, Sam is I want to point this out, is a heavy smoker.
Mm-hmm.
And just yesterday, I think it was, they voted to increase the tax on cigarettes by 55 cents a
Isn't
pack.
that something? But there again, they'll be able to, those that go back and forth to Canada
Or Vermont.
So I don't know
There
if
will
it's
be
gonna,
some cigarette smuggling going on.
Oh yeah, it's going to be a black market.
Yeah.
Going to be a black market, that's for sure.
Okay, this is the Bradley Pond Road.
Yeah. No, this is the
Brandy Brook. Brandy Brook.
Road. Yeah, this is the town of Ellenburg, sand stop. That's where they stock their sand for the winter.
That's not sand.
That's
Lime
Lime Mountain
sand.
or sand.
Yeah.
Lime Mountain or sand. This is what they call the Blue Hill. When I first got my first motorcycle, I was only about 12 years old, and right about there, would you believe I was so young, and I didn't even know what side of the road to pass the car on. And I went to pass the car, and I passed him on my right, and I went right in the field. I was coming up to visit my grandfather who lived right up here. And I was 12 years old, and I had my first motorcycle. Little one-cylinder Harley. Now, this is the prayer house over here. Can we turn around up there? Or can we go up to the... see, this is all in my area.
Yeah.
This is Father Joe. He's our new parish priest now.
Yep.
And this is where he was born and brought up. That's the original farmhouse. And of course, they had between the two houses there, he had a large farm. His dad was a big farmer. And these two houses right here was for their hired hand. So would you believe now he's got it back, and he started the prayer house. And as you can see, we put up the tower up there. My guys are just hooking up. I got two men there. My employees putting up the light, and to light up the star. And of course he was up in Gabriel's and parish priest up there, and he was the chaplain at the federal prison up there. And so that used to be the Sisters of Mercy before the federal government bought it. And then it came federal prison. Millennium. He was a pastor over there. So when he left, they told him that he could have the tower if he wanted it. So we moved the tower down, and we're just finishing it up there. But to think this is where, and I can remember when I used, how kids would exchange times visiting each other. And
right.
So I can remember visiting him up here when I was only 12 years old, 12, 13. And he had his own little altar. His father had given him a space in the grain house, and his mother had a white linen. I can still remember that. And before we'd start to play in the morning, I had to go to church to him and go to communion and confession.
He knew what he wanted
way
to be
back
as
then,
a child,
yeah. And I broke my leg on his horse. We each had a horse, and his horse liked to rear up and walk on his hind feet. And he went up too high one day, and he went right over backwards, and my foot got caught in the stirrup. I couldn't pull my foot out. And it was in the spring of the year, and where the ruts, and snapped my leg right in two.
Ouch.
And no, we've...
I hope you sued him properly.
No, Galley's... yeah. Gee, they took this all apart. This was my grandfather's place right here. All gone right down. Well, I'll be darned. I was lost there for a minute.
The house is gone?
Yep, the house, the barn, and...
the satellite dish sitting on the ground, too?
I'll be darned. Yeah. Gee, I had to stop, and gee, that was done just recently.
Yeah, we get surprises on these little tours. When we went through Perry's Mills, there's an old store there, a very unique architecture, and I guess most of us assumed it would be there forever. it was gone.
And it was a historical.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it was, I don't think it was ever on the register, but it sure was historical for the people in the town.
Well.
But
What taxes is
taxes
what's,
and
that's what's eating us up.
Practical decisions, and it's just sitting there. And
Yeah,
you can't
I'm sure that's
rehabilitate it.
Yep.
You got to do what you got to do.
And the other problem we're facing now is that it's cheaper for anybody to buy a modular than it is to remodel these older buildings because they've got asphalt shingles or asphalt siding and lead paint, and it costs us more to get rid of the material than it does to build a new house. So, yeah, this heavily farmed area up here.
Now that house of prayer, that's something that Father Trombley started.
Yep. Yep.
Dedicated to Our Lady of the Adirondacks.
Yeah, Lady of the Adirondack. Anybody can go in there at any time. And I forgot to mention that he has some little camps in the back there. In the summertime, they can go up there and meditate.
A little retreat.
Retreat, yeah.
And, Sister Bayette still there? Sister?
Yes, yeah. Jean Bayette, yeah. She's from Champlain. When we were election day, John Serlo spent the day with me, and so I brought him in there. So he knew her brother.
Yeah, well, she's not from Champlain, but her brother, Father Paul Bayette, was pastor for many years.
Oh, this is the Trombleys here.
A lot of them around. Huh?
Yeah, now here's a young guy. Look at how he's built up, and really successful, and just bought another large farm. And the LeBare's right across the road. That's where Gerald LeBare lives over here.
Okay.
And so he owns all of this here, and just a successful farmer. Just built another new barn, and well, his son Brad Trombley, the good wrestler there, and he has his own farm, but he's only 17 years old.
Huh?
He's got 50 head down there, and
wow,
I forgot to point out his place. You wouldn't know him covering the wrestling tournaments. This is another Trombley here, Gerald Trombley, another successful. Came to work for me. He only had a saw and a hammer, and he sold out here 2 years ago, and sale went way over $500,000. And he really came up quick, but there again, successful in what he did. Now we're going to be leaving Ellenburg shortly over here. We're coming into Franklin County, but well, here we can go down the Bowen Road.
okay.
We just lost John Bowen, another bright guy we had here in Ellenburg. And his wife was our historian, but he was an engineer for the Imperial Mill. So when they shut down, he had to leave the area. So this is all good farmland here.
And of course, when the grass is green and the
Yeah,
sky
still
is blue,
green, eh?
This is a nice view. A lot of nice views here driving through Ellenburg.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, got some nice land, though.
Of course, when it's 20 below and the wind is drifting,
Exactly.
it's not quite as much
nice,
fun
yeah.
to look at.
Yeah, especially this road right here.
The
Well, any
north-south
road that runs north and south, yeah, because we always get the west winds. Remember when Father Bernard, both churches, Charbosco and Ellenburg, you have to come all the way up to Luby Road to. That's where the Bowens lived up there. And that was a historical place. The Bowens, they grew potatoes. I remember my folks telling the story. That's how they get their fall monies. They come up and pick potatoes. That's also the town of Ellenburg. That's what they call number 5 up there when it runs out at. Now we're getting into Charbosco.
Entering the town of Clinton, are we?
Yeah.
Well, we won't tell anybody we shot a little bit of Clinton.
Okay. soon be back. Gotta go down a little further.
It'll work out good because my battery's just about to die, Sam.
Oh, okay.
So we need to switch batteries anyway. We'll just let it run as far as it'll go.
It's another house that I built here back years ago. We'll cut across here. We'll be back in Ellenburg now.
Alright, when we get to this corner, we will stop and I'll switch batteries.
Okay, give me a good time to
Have a cigarette.
grab a good smoke. Talking about farming, here's a guy right here. He has no land. He buys everything, and they tell me he makes more that way than.
Friendly friend here.
Yeah. He was a
That's some
ag
good,
teacher in Chattagat.
yeah, that's some good cattle too.
Yeah. Okay. You
Top
know,
cattle. Alright.
Route 11.
Alright, through the magic of television, Sam, we've gone from a little side road in Cherubusco to back to Ellenburg. There's a quilt shop here, Brandy Brook Road. This one by that took us out. That would take us out to the House of Prayer. We're
Yes. The Brandy Brook,
heading
yeah.
east on Route 11.
You have an awful lot of wetlands over here, as you see to the north. A lot of beavers in there. I remember one time Gas and Electric had to bring in a portable generator because the beavers were chewing down the telephone poles, putting the people in Busco out of power. And same with telephone. We have a good telephone line now, and Fibric line in Cherubusco cost the telephone company $1 million. That's when Kathy Laramie was here, and, and that's when Cherubusco had to pay long distance to call Ellenburg. And of course, we went to several hearings in Albany. We met with Governor Como was the governor back then. And so we got that pizza barn here. That's
Cypher Helps.
yeah, he's doing okay. Runs a tight shop there.
It open year round?
Yes, his pizza house is.
People in Ellenburg like pizza too, right?
Yes, it's really catching on. And you know, when my kids was young, I would get a little upset when they'd have pizza instead of having a full course meal. And now they tell me that pizza's better for you. Or is the VFW? Gee, I got to show you that.
All right, we'll go through there.
You got to swing around. They just put up a nice memorial, and they're big contributors to the fire departments and the senior citizens. Matter of fact, just Monday night here, they threw a big Christmas party and all what they wanted to eat for the senior citizens. Terry.
Veterans organizations are really assets to any community.
Yeah, they have their fields here, 4th of July. They have a good gathering. But just take a look at that memorial that they.
All right, just if you'll drive around and I can get it off this side.
Oh, okay.
If you don't mind.
Yeah, no, because it brings you to a dead end. And they're constantly remodeling. They got the inside. This was just an average house, and
There's actually a little road back here besides, eh?
Yeah, well, this was the old Route 111 here. It's a town road now, but when back in the early 50s when they built,
Drive in toward it there, if you would.
yeah, just a beautiful.
Drive in toward it if you could.
Oh, okay.
There you go. Okay.
Yeah, Terry Kaye is their commander and doing a terrific job with. Of course, like any other organization, they got to keep it active. They all have to work together, but it's they're doing very well. A nice workmanship, as you can see.
Yeah, it's very nice. I remember when when the post was looking to get This building, I was talking with Clarence Lafreniere.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, you definitely have a good memory.
Yeah.
Yep, Justice of Peace. Clarence was a justice.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sam. Yep. Yeah. In fact, our Woodman Lodge donated a set of crutches, a wheelchair, and a walker to the post.
Oh.
They have one up here to lend out. That was
Well.
quite a few years ago.
Oh, yeah, because Clarence has been deceased sometime.
Yeah. I also like Clarence. He was
Oh,
a very sincere individual.
Yep. And his father was too, his father. Yeah. I built his new dairy barn. I can remember he always had a slow pace to him, and I was always on the run, you know, and he'd tell me, he'd say, Sam, I'm going to outlive you. You got to slow down.
There's that little road that comes out. The old
Yeah,
state
it comes around
road.
here, yeah. Big
Nice brick
place.
house.
Yeah, it was a nice farm there, but he's out of the farm business.
Let me tell you, when I was driving around with George Dino and Shazy, we just were amazed once we started looking at the number of brick houses there are in the town of Shazy, particularly West Shazy, but throughout the town, a lot of brick houses.
Yeah, like in Canada, a lot of masonry. New house here that just was built last year. And Ebert worked for the county for years. That was her place over there, and that's her place.
Was her place or is her place?
It is her place.
You still work for the county? That's just
No,
different department? No?
No, she's working for the correctional facility in Chateauguay.
Oh, I knew she'd left Bill Bingo's office, and I thought
She went
went.
to transportation.
Yeah, then she left there.
Yeah.
Oh.
And, but she wanted something just more or less part-time. This is Prevo's snow sled and grocery store here.
Yeah.
And of course, this is my campsite here.
The elections are over
John's
here.
Earl,
When are you gonna take
yes.
that John's Earl sign down?
Yeah, well, we sort of like John, and I don't mind keeping his name up, but I do have him. And this is my clubhouse, and of course we have the diner here, and this is my house, as you know.
Yeah. Let's just drive through up to the depot.
Okay.
No rhyme or reason to what we're doing here. We've been through this little section here, but not much. We're getting right back to the bridge.
Yeah, this is where we.
And we'll shooting our way back to get to church.
Okay.
So,
Okay, we get to church on the way back. That's a Columbus Hall here.
This little river here.
Now this is where I'm trying to get the money from FEMA to get the stream cleaned out. See, as you can see, what's going to happen here, if we ever get another high, yeah, I mean, it's just a perfect
You can see where the river just turns.
Oh yeah, and exactly, that's a crucial place right there.
Yeah,
Matter of fact, I had to get the approval from DEC to cut a tree. The banks are so ridden there. There was a tree leaning right on young Bombard's house, and of course you don't even dare to cut a tree now if it's next to the stream.
Yeah.
So they said you ought to go ahead and remove it, but that section really got to be cleaned out there. That toll was $55,000 in the coffer there, but just not. This is our St. Edmunds cemetery. I just bought my lot here a few months ago. I'm going to be buried right on the corner over there, right to the left of that stone, that LeClaire stone.
So see the traffic go by?
Oh yeah, I want to wave at everybody. That's what I told Father, and I want to see everybody that passes by.
That won't happen for at least another 50 years.
Well,
so
let's hope not.
Watching this in 50 years, he's not there yet.
Yeah, let's hope not. That's where Junior Taylor lived, and you know he's deceased. This Blue Haven campsite here. The lake, as you can see, I developed Lake Loxand. I developed that in the early 70s. That's the largest man-made lake in Region 7, so I'm told. It covers 207 acres.
Bigger than Lake Alice?
How big is Lake Alice?
I don't know.
I never heard, but that's what they told me anyway. That another house that I built there. This is drowning. So
Roxanne, of course, named for Roxanne Drown.
Yeah, Roxanne. I hadn't seen Roxanne in some time. Pete Drown was the one that was Phil Taylor's. Pete Drown and Blix was his partner at the time.
I haven't seen Roxanne in 25 years either.
Yeah, same here. I don't even know where she's at. This was nephew's implement garage here. That's and this was his house. Yeah. Bill Fritz, that was Dr. Harrell's house. Remember Dr. Harrell?
Yeah. And they got rid of their satellite dish.
Yeah.
I noticed that.
This was the old railroad track there.
Yeah. Rutland Road.
Yeah.
From here.
Yeah. Old Riverside, Ellenburg, but that's gone. Ellenburg, Riverside Inn. Yeah. Will we go up Lake Roxanne or no?
That's up to you, Sam.
Okay, just get a
There's a tour guide there. We're going to Roxanne
Okay.
Road. It's a dead end road. And there was some flooding.
right here. Oh yes.
That house.
Now right here,
Leclerc?
yeah, And matter of fact, we just had the resolution on the floor last night to where the county is going to be transferring that to the Ellenburg Center Fire Department. See, that's all ledge there, and at any time of the year, they can always drive down in there and fill their tankers.
I see.
And,
So I didn't
so
know that they tore the house down.
Oh yes. Well, that's part of the. They have to do it.
Yeah, the buyout, yeah.
Yeah, the buyout. That's part of the deal.
That's too bad.
This was the old milk station here in Ellenburg Depot, and it's too bad that talk about brick buildings, and that was a well-built building, and it's just going to waste. And the only thing being used now, they're using under the Pete Brown development here. There was, of course, there was a tremendous well there and real good water. And of course, he's used that well water to feed his development. And,
What's that old saying? Built like a brick, milk plant.
Milk plant, yeah. Okay. And so you get a better view at Lake Roxanne here. There's the dam over there.
Yeah, I remember they coming down here when during the flood when the town supervisor was down there.
Yeah, okay. Michelle Talaski. Yeah, but you get a better look at the lake here now. That was a tough job. I had to, of course, see this run fed by the Great Chazy River, and we could only take 10% of the water, and I had to build a weir to the south side.
Could you build this today, 1999?
Oh, I wouldn't want to go through the process. Even getting the permit to build mine back in '74, you wouldn't believe what I had to go through. No, I wouldn't even take it.
Well, things like this are a thing of the past for the most part.
Yeah.
So this was all what, farmland before?
Oh yeah, Sanford Farm, and we used to do all his farm work, cut his hay, forge, all the fall work. He was a teacher. He was a science teacher that he would hire us to, So it was a good development, as you can see. Being Pete had a foresight, but unfortunately, it takes so much money to. Like now, any more than 7 dwellings on a water line, you have to have an engineer, and you got to be chlorinated, and the rules and regulations are just a little bit much for an area of ours, because you can't charge, for a building lot like you would in the city.
Now, is there any fish in that?
Oh yeah, this is trout stream. The Great Chazy River is known for speckled and brown trout.
So that feeds off the Great Chazy River, then?
Oh yes.
Okay.
We were really hit last year with the Canadian currency. Is doing a number on us. 99% of our customers are from Canada area.
So anybody in the campground business is suffering.
Yeah. Oh, I know. We took over a 40% loss.
So where's Mrs. Leclerc gone to?
She's in the housing. We'll tour that on the way back. And,
Okay.
we have the Windy Acres and Breezy Acres. And It was a big decision for her to make. She hated to leave her house.
I know, but she sure suffered there with that flooding.
Yeah, three of them. And then, of course, she wasn't going to be, there's no way she could get the insurance, the third time around. It was, and all the furniture and everything had all been saturated so many times. So, but she really hated to leave. It wasn't easy for her. This is our Ellenburg Depot Fire Department, post office, but they're moving down the other end of town. The new post office is going to be in the town of Altona.
Ground funeral home and Large Agency and Barron's Market.
Yeah.
And fire department.
Yeah, this is our new fire station here at Ellenburg Depot. They did one heck of a job on that. And this year you hit with Canberra coming into Altona.
Yeah.
Now the town of Ellenburg goes up here about, just get a shot at McGregor's. That's a historical place.
I didn't shoot the side of the road when we came through with Ken Ferrier, so.
Yeah, no, this is my side, the Ellenburg side.
Yeah, it's all your side as far as your legislative district.
Yeah.
Of course, that McGregor barn being gone, it's different through here, that big red barn.
See, that was another sawmill and lumber yard. And so that's down now.
Between the floods and the ice storm,
and then they had to do away with the building because it wasn't safe,
Yeah, it's amazing that it stood up through some of those storms.
Exactly. So there isn't that much, only open land pretty much up there.
Okay.
If you want to take a ride up, I have a couple of farms up there.
Yeah, let's take a run. Because open land, we don't know what it's going to look like 50 years from now.
Exactly. As you can see, it'll all be, good building lots.
Canaan Hill Road.
Yep.
And the other side is, when we drive down, we'll probably shoot coming down too, because it's such a nice view coming down this road.
Yes.
The other side is the Plank Road. And on our right is the town of Altona, and on our left is the town of Ellenburg.
And then we'll be coming into the town of Moores.
Moores, and if you keep going, you end up in the town of Clinton.
Clinton, you got it. Yep.
Up by Clinton Mills. I'd like to learn more about what was happening in Clinton Mills years ago. That
was when the railroad went right through Clinton Mills. Well, that's what built up Clinton Mills, was the railroad and the forestry business.
So that's just, that's history that's lost, and I'd like to. If you come across anybody, Sam, that knows anything about the history of...
Yeah, Dick Dekas has the whole book.
Does he?
Yeah. Which, see, that's where the...
that's the guy from Dick's Country Store.
Yeah. And then, of course, that's where the first Gibson guitar was made, too, So he has the whole history. And,
well, we wanted to do a story all last year with Dick, and every time Gordy Little and I were available, he wasn't.
An interesting guy to talk to. I mean, he reads up on all that stuff, and he did a lot of research. He did.
So does he have a published book, or just information he's gathered for his own personal?
I don't know but I do know when Evelyn Watson put a lot of information together too, and she was the historian up there. And, he would, if any information that's available, he would have it.
Okay.
I want to know more about Clinton myself. There was a lieutenant governor that came into Busk. I forget what year it was, the late 1800s or early 1900s, and you would have the story on that too. There was a good story on that. I should remember how it goes. He said that if he would win election, he would paint the town of Clinton red, and he had to do it. See, everything to the west here is Elmer. There's some of them that's in Moores. Everything to our right is Moores now.
Well, we didn't do this portion when we did Moores, so we'll shoot out the front here.
As you can see, this is good farmland.
Finley Farm. This is
Yeah.
came up here several years ago when they had the work bee to help Kevin Finley rebuild his
Oh, yeah.
his farm, his church, the
Yeah.
Wesleyan church. People got
Yeah.
together.
Yeah,
up
right
here
here.
on the right here.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah, and then that was the year that we had the large storm, and they didn't get up here to plow his road, and they had to throw their milk away. I was fit to be tied. I said the young guy rebuilding and couldn't get up here to get his milk.
yeah, his father's a minister.
Yeah, oh, just super guy. Yeah, and a good electrician. I think this is probably the last voter in the town of Ellenburg here.
This is it, Ellenburg.
We got a lot of company people coming home to visit. Did you want to go right to the end there, Kelvin, or?
It's up to you, Sam.
Okay, well, we'll find a good place to turn around.
We're about halfway through this tape, so I think we got a lot of tape left. So
Oh, okay.
we're doing all right time-wise. Because of your fast driving.
Well, you told me to go to speed limit, so I didn't realize you could video.
Yeah, it's not gonna be anything fancy, but it's better than what we'll have without
Yeah.
it. The sharp turn takes us up toward Clinton Mills.
Yeah. Now let's see. Will these tapes be?
Oh yeah, they'll be
While
available.
I'm here, just go take a look. I see something blue there. A lot of things has happened.
That's
See,
like
I
a
don't always
mailbox,
have the
just
time
to
to.
just paint on the mailbox.
Oh, okay, that's what it is. Yeah.
Yeah, there's this little. If they would. Now, is this town of Ellenburg, or what town are we in here today?
Town of Ellenburg, Moores,
Stone
and
Stone Road. If they would pave that Stone Road, it would really open up, I think.
this area.
Yeah.
Yeah, because there's the Stones. They're well known for maple sugaring and.
Because this road is a dirt road, and if I'm coming to Cherubusco,
Yep, exactly. From Champlain.
it just saves me about 5 miles by coming this way.
Yeah, and it's a good gravel road. All they need. Yeah.
But if they would pave that, I think this would really open up this neck of the woods up here.
There's a good idea. I have to bring that to their attention.
Is that Ellenburg or Moores? Which town
Oh,
is
that would be Moores.
That's Moores.
Yeah.
All right.
And of course they run a real good budget. I mean, they got just about every road resurfaced. And,
yeah, Dick Boris doing a nice job. And who's the town supervisor? What's his name?
Jack Drago.
Jack Drago.
Oh,
Yeah, I think I.
yeah. No, they do
Oh,
a
I do his
terrific
name.
job.
There's some of that view
Yeah.
once we get closer to Ellenburg Depot, you really get a nice view.
Yeah, get over in that higher.
Here we're kind of behind the Canaan Hill.
Yeah. On a good clear day, they're way up in Ledges Corners. You look right down here, and it's amazing how straight this road runs.
Oh yeah.
And I
Look at
said,
a map. It just an arrow.
I said way back then, they didn't have the instruments, and you wondered what you have to wonder how they got it so straight.
Well, you can tell the roads that were made by engineers as opposed to just following the old deer trails.
Yeah.
If you take, if you drive out by the lake down in Essex County, and you just, through the mountains and stuff, it's just one winding.
Yep. Oh, gee, when I go to inter-county meetings there to Old Forge and Hamilton County, I mean, you got to just allow yourself an extra hour and a half. You just can't go to speed limit. It's one curve, one right after another. That's on you.
Yeah. And there was a poem or an essay on how one deer took that route, and then another one, then another one.
Yeah.
Then the explorer followed that deer trail.
Yeah. I bet that's the way it was. I never thought of that. I thought probably because to get around the ledges and the lakes. And,
that's how just the deer trail that the early settlers started following because it was clear. think that's how a lot of these roads came about.
Now this is Drown Road here. But you wanted to go up through Ellenburg Depot, and this is Drown Road.
It's up to you. Everybody gets mad. I want to be mad at Sam Trombley. Oh, that'll stop the car.
So we don't want to get anybody mad, that's for sure.
And if we run out of tape, I want to be mad at Sam Trombley because we went down too many side roads. So
Let's see. We have how much longer?
we got close to an hour 20 remaining
Oh,
on tape.
okay.
So only a little over halfway through. We got an hour 25
Okay.
on tape. Yeah. When I first thought of this, it was early in the year, and
Oh yeah.
all summer long I said I'm going to get together, and just never any time. You just got to make the time.
Yeah, exactly.
So as we got into December, I said I got to do this. I just got to swallow hard, come up with the time to get this done. So I called Dr. Southwick,
Oh.
and he said, "Hey, I was thinking the same thing." He said, "I got some guy in Moores that'll take us around." So Dr. Southwick has been driving the car when we took Moores, town of Champlain, and then later on next week we're going to be doing the 2 villages. So, because he'd seen the one we did with Bob back in '89, and he was thinking along the same lines. So
That's something.
Yeah,
what a wonderful idea.
And we are doing one more. I wasn't sure if I was going to do it, but after thinking long and hard, as part of the Gordy Little series of our little corner, we're going to do, as of today now, as of a couple days ago, we've got it set up, and hopefully it won't fall apart. But next week on the 28th, I guess it is, we're supposed to be doing the city of Plattsburgh with the outgoing mayor, Clyde Rabideau.
Now, you're going to be able to work all that in before the end of the year?
I'll get them done. I won't get them on the air.
Yeah, but you'll have them all.
Yeah, I'll have them all done, and we'll start running these in January.
And we're back on the Bull Run Road here.
Bull Run Road. That's a name that's always fascinated me.
Yeah, I never asked how it got its name.
And this here will also take us up to that
Yeah,
Mills Road.
Exactly. This is where the Hart farm was. George Hart. Elsie, remember Elsie?
Yeah.
She was a strong advocate for the
Environment.
environment.
Yeah, working against the incinerator.
Yeah.
Worried about the polluted wells and so on.
Yeah.
The missile base.
Missile base. And then when the state was going to put it, was looking at this area for hazard waste. She worked hard on those projects.
Does she still live there?
Yeah. Yeah. You can see the trees, the poles were all down here. You can see these are all new
poles.
electrical poles. They were out of power for a long time up
The
here.
ice storm of '98.
Yeah.
Is this the Hansinger farm here?
Yep. Sold insurance for years and years.
Worked with a couple of the Hansinger daughters at Sheridan when I was there.
Oh, it's amazing how many people, how familiar you are with my area.
I was thinking of running for election up here, Sam.
My God, you'd be a strong.
The Democrats are trying to recruit me.
Oh, are they succeeding? Well, we need them both. Eh? You don't run on one party. You need support. There, now we're going to be coming back into Jarabasco, so we'll turn around. This is the Culligan farm here, Bob Culligan. He had a large farm here at one time.
Is it Culligan or Colgan?
We call it Culligan. It's Colgan the way it's spelled.
Yeah, because I noticed when we were going around in Moores with Frank Goodrich, we went by the Colgan farm, and he was saying there's the Culligans, and I didn't correct him because he was sitting in back of me and he could have hit me in the back of the head or something. It's spelled Colgan, but become known as the Culligans for some reason. All right, we've seen this stretch, and we're going to be shooting toward the sun, so I'm going to shut the camera off for a moment or two.
Okay.
Alright, we picked up a little further down. It's a little bit hazy, as Sam was just saying today. So we don't get the view of the mountains that we probably would like to get. Should have saw it last night with that full moon out.
Oh, galleys.
And again, the specs of my windshield. Maybe we'll run the windshield wipers next time we come to a stop here to go to the end of the Bull Run Road.
Yeah, and then if we need some washers, fluid, we can get some to one of the hardware stores.
Yeah. When we were going by the Labarge agency there, I wanted to mention that Lefty Labarge, the founder of that agency, as far as Labarge name goes, your predecessor, died in a tragic car accident.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up. I wanted to mention that, and then we were coming on to the grocery store. And, of course, Andre, she kept it going and doing a good job with it. Alan, Lefty was a good guy. Matter of fact, he was working for me. I was on the Lake Roxanne development when they came and 11 o'clock at night to tell him that his wife was giving birth to his first son, and the only son, but the first baby. And, he got started with me also. This was the old railroad tracks here, and boy, they should have never ripped. Someday they're going to be sorry that they did away with those railroad tracks. They would, it's costing them more to maintain the roads being torn up by heavy truckers than it would have cost to keep those railroads going.
Yeah, just that the trucks can go pretty much where they want.
Yeah, right to the
point. You gotta follow the.
Yeah, you gotta follow the rail.
You gotta
handle it again.
You gotta handle it again. So.
Yeah.
But definitely, those heavy trucks take a toll on our roads.
So. Yeah, talking about clients are friendly. That's his place. I built that barn too for him just before he took sick and retired. The first fall I took, I slid off the top. Still got the scar on my finger.
Well, you've taken a few dives yourself?
That was the last. You learn to be really. I was always kind of cautious when it came to building scaffolds too.
Well, just over the weekend, I was chatting with Dick Boris, highway superintendent in the town of Moores, and he was reminiscing about the time he fell off 20 feet roof.
Roof to see.
He said it seemed like it took about 2 minutes to land. Did it seem like that to you? As anybody who's ever taken a ditch knows, the time just seems to be in slow motion.
Yeah.
And he said it seemed like it took forever. When will that darn ground ever get there?
Yeah.
He said he was going to get suffering, and he just... Was it like that for you too, Sam?
Yes. Now, you said you did the Plank Road, right?
Oh, we did part of it, yeah.
Okay, so we'll go up Cold Springs.
I don't think I've ever been down Cold Springs. No?
Oh, yeah, this is the Great Chazy River, and the Ace Rod and Gun Club has a campground, not camping.
Shooting range?
They did, and then just to come and eat, I can't call it a camping. Well, it was elk camping, but see, you can get a real good shot.
Reverse gear is working here.
Yeah.
Nice shot.
Nice shot of the stream there. See, it's all natural faults there.
Yeah, nice little view.
See, I would say that'd be a good fish pond right there where the water really agitated there.
In between there.
Yeah. Yeah, that builds up oxygen.
Well, you know about fish.
Well, because I built the fish ladder at my dam there. And,
darn.
Yes.
We're on TV, so we have to say darn.
Darn.
They built your darn.
Darn dam. This is Cold Springs. There's a shortcut there, and during the winter, down by the cemetery in Route 11, that's always a bad curve, and the local people uses this road here to avoid the whiteouts.
I didn't know that.
And they have a ice cream stand here. Doing well while being so close to the yeah, she does Mitch's. Yeah, she does a good business.
So this is what road here now?
Now we're on the turnpike here now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we had to do the turnpike. So this is what I was trying to figure out here, which would be the. This is both sides of town of Ellenburg here. And we didn't get the other side of Ellenburg Depot.
Yeah.
So I thought by coming this way,
you want to get all the Ellenburgs.
Try to work them all in. Coming up here, this is where our landfill was here when the towns had their own town landfill. This is where it was located right here. They sealed it well, and as you can see, it's
yeah, that's where they had the rally a few years back.
Yeah.
Yes,
they planted trees there and everything. Yeah, you didn't miss too many of those.
I get around. We're going 70, by the way, Sam. I don't know if you want.
Yeah.
This car will do that to you.
Gotta hope state police is not tuned in here.
Get Sam getting a ticket.
Yeah.
On camera.
Yeah, that would make the news, wouldn't it?
Yeah, put you on tape.
Yeah. Just can't believe how.
I'd sell a lot more copies of the state, but that's you getting a ticket, Sam.
Yeah, we'll get it back down to 55. I'd surely get a ticket if I had this car. You just don't realize how fast you're going.
No, all of a sudden it's
right
so
up
I use
there.
Cruise control as much as I can.
Oh yeah, there
once you get to this time of the year, you can't use cruise control on slippery roads.
Yeah, around the curves.
But I try to use that cruise as much as possible.
Now, so you said you did the Plank Road.
Boy, I'm hoping I shot both sides. Cause, I wasn't sure. I can't remember now if we did or didn't. I hope we did.
Okay. Anyway, that would be the town of Altona on that side.
Yeah. So we have to shoot on the left here to get to the town of Ellenburg. Because on our right is Altona.
Yep.
And this road, if you look at this road on a map, it's just as straight as an
Isn't
arrow.
that something? This is what I was telling you.
Just as straight as an arrow, all the way up into Shazy Lake, Buzzards Corners.
Be interesting what type of instruments they had to shoot it.
And legend has it that it was a plank road at one time.
And that's where it got its name.
Yeah.
This was the Bruce McGregor pit here for years and years. This is where they would get their sand to sand the roads. He was a popular guy in Ellenburg, Bruce McGregor was.
Is he related to the McGregor barn up there?
Yes, that was all the McGregor family. Back then there was the McGregors, the Munsels, Cheesemans. So he owned this house here too. This was, see, the railroad went through here. That was the that's where the prisoners were first let off when they came up to Dannemora in the 1800s. That's the building right there where the inmates were unloaded, and they walked them up to Dannemora.
So
yeah, they were the first.
The train went through.
Train went through, yeah. And I like to hear that story. And they walked them up, and where the fire range is. That was their first project. And they that's where they started cutting the lumber.
Another cemetery to the left here.
Yeah, Sheldon Cemetery. They keep that up well, as you can see.
It's right next to the church here, right?
Yeah, Wesleyan Church. See how well they got that stone and stepped, and nice steel engines. That's their church.
Now we're back with the Canaan Hill Road ahead of us.
This was the nephew garage years ago, and then it was Agway, and they had a oil spill at one time, and
Yep, more of
so
those.
now they got it into the Otto Valley. Is that my okay then?
Yep, more of those buried gas tanks.
Yep.
Welcome to the town of Ellenburg.
Yeah, and then the Ellenburg Diner, doing a good job with that.
This little side road, should we go down this one, or is there nothing there? Just
No, it
takes you
just
out?
brings you right
Just
down
brings you
around
back
by
to
McGregor's,
the
yeah.
side of McGregor.
It's just a shortcut
Alright,
there.
yeah.
But talking about the McGregor's, this is the original McGregor house
Uh-huh.
right here. That's the Sunderland farm.
Yeah, right.
Chris Sunderland, of course, and that's a historical place here.
The house, the big brick house?
Yeah, and you'll see the gold historical marker there in his entrance, and he's trying to get it right back to where it was, the tower and everything. And,
Certainly a show place, huh?
oh yeah, this is another McGregor house. Mrs. McGregor, the teacher, that's where she lived.
See, look, there's a lot of McGregors in this neck of the woods.
Yeah, well, they were a small family, but what they did well, you know. In our bank, it used to be Key Bank, used to be Ellenburg Bank,
Yeah.
and then Key Bank, now it's NBT Bank.
Robbery here several years ago, many years ago, and Roy Dominey was shot and
Yeah,
killed.
yeah. I'll show you this Dr. Buell, veterinary Buell, and Bill Scott owns that now. Yeah, so I'll show you the railroad station over there, and they would come around and the trestle over here, and then this was the, I'll bring you up the old, they call it, Station Hill Road now. This is Gerald Duprey's valley
He's in
over
way
here.
back.
Okay. This is Scott, that's where she lives here now. And this was the, we're coming up to the railroad station. I can remember in Agway right here, to make extra money on Saturdays, I'd always, they'd give me the job to come in and unload a boxcar. I weighed about 95 pounds, and back then, you know, the feed bags were all 100 pounds. But it would take me all forenoon to unload it.
Northland Heights.
Yeah, now it's Northern Heights.
At least they're preserving the building. It's
Yeah,
nice.
exactly.
Old railroad
Yeah.
stations. Too many of these old depots are just...
Yeah.
Now, who owns Northland Heights now?
It's a company out of Maine. I should remember their name. Of course, the rail boys are still with the company. As you know, it was Bob Glenrell Jr. that started this business.
He died about 2 years ago.
Yeah, and jeepers, man.
Yep, Carcass is here, so we're going to shut the camera.
Yeah. This was the Bilo farm.
This is the Bilo farm.
Yeah.
Old Bilo farm.
Mm-hmm.
Are there any young Bilos on it now?
No. Bob Rail bought that too, and but they don't have any cattle. And then, of course, when he passed away, and this was their farmhouse. That's where Jim Bilo. Remember Jim Bilo? He was a legislator and supervisor.
Yeah.
That's where they were all born and brought up.
Okay. We should put Bob Rowell's real name there, Glenn Rowell.
Glenn Rowell, yeah, we call him Bob.
Everybody knew him as Bob.
Yeah.
He was town supervisor.
Mm-hmm.
Took sick.
Yep, and then he was a judge for years and years. John Munsell, you remember John Munsell?
Yeah.
The attorney here in Ellenburg. This was his office for years and years. Ethel Dekas and worked for him, and yeah, he was my attorney. You know, in real real estate. He was a good. And then this was Carpenter Adams Feed Store right here, another nice building, and of course that went down through the ice storm. And but they used to grist the mill. I can remember bringing our oats down, and they had what they call a grist mill. Yeah, but that's gone. And that where Duprey's hardware is, that was Chilton's hardware and implement dealer. They sold farm-alls.
Steve Chilton.
McCormick.
Steve Chilton, right? Stephen? Was it Stephen?
No, this was Bob and John.
Bob and John.
John, yeah.
John Deere, was it? Was it John Deere? What they sell?
No,
Farm-all?
McCormick.
McCormick?
Yeah, farm-alls, yeah. Yeah, we bought our first farm-all tractor from them. Yeah, but it burnt, and Drill built it right back up and true worth of value now. That's where John Munsell lived over here. Down Spencer, that's where he lived. He was our banker for years. And I remember those guys, but of course my father died and I was young. I never had a backer. And God, I remember those guys loaning me money without even having a backer. This was the old Agway store here.
A lot of old Lagway buildings.
Yeah. I remember,
probably was GLF at one point.
Yeah. Yeah, there's been a lot of changes just through my lifetime, you know.
Yeah.
And like you said, with the way everything is in full speed ahead now.
Owned by Phil's Chevrolet on the right.
This was a sizable trailer court here when Bill Gadway from Moore's had it, but there again, because of the water, he was forced to shut down. You had spring water. You would think spring water would be the safest drinking water you could, drink, but unfortunately.
Okay, we're going by the Bull Run Road and then the Cold Spring Road.
Mm-hmm.
And down them. Pretty good time-wise.
Yes,
here,
we did.
Maybe we'll have time to go up the
Smith Road. I'd like to have you see the Smith Road.
Okay.
You talk about I think it's about the highest elevation in Ellenburg. On a clear night there, you can almost count every street light in downtown Montreal. See our nice senior housing building.
We'll drive through there?
Yes.
Okay.
And Mildred Dominy, who was my teacher, is the president, and Wayne Cashman is the superintendent. This is the Claude farm here. The kid, young Derek, took the farm over from his dad and kept it really going good. Okay, here's the other St. Edmunds
going down the Bombard Road already?
Church. Yeah, why don't we do that right now? Or would it be better to go get it?
We haven't got far to go on the Bombard Road.
Yeah, okay, we can take another step here.
This doesn't take you long to go down the Bombard Road.
No.
So this gets an entrance to the Glenway here?
Yeah, right back.
To the senior housing? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Glenn's Way.
Yeah.
Named for...
Talking about Glenn's Way, Glenn...
Brown. Bob Brown.
Yeah, but Glenn that went out took that space. He read someplace where we were naming this road Glenn's Way, and so that was just before he was taking his last shuttle, and he sent a little note to Mildred Dominy, who was the president there, that he was glad to see the Glen Way because he was ready to. He was going on his way shortly or something.
But it wasn't named after him, it was named in honor of
Brown. Exactly. It just happened that it Mr. LeBombard lived up here for years and years. I remember she was a nurse. Mrs. LeBombard was a nurse, and she had a talking crow, and for some reason we lived over at the on the turnpike at the time, and that crow would always come over to our place, and she would always come down after him. She was a nurse. She took care of my dad. My dad, in his last few years there, she'd come and give him his shots. Yeah, they were good people also.
Yeah, it was just for a short period of time, for about a month or so, in the village of Champlain, probably 10, 12 years ago, there was a crow that would talk to you.
Yeah?
It'd say hello.
Well, yeah, that's the same with this one here.
It'd talk to you, but I don't know what happened to it. I don't know if it was somebody's pet and it escaped or what, but the darn thing would talk.
Yeah, well, she had that crow for years, and he'd come to my place, and he wasn't wild, they could catch him. But I don't know if it was the kids he liked.
Let's drive by the church and come.
Yeah, you get a better. That's what I thought.
Yeah.
Really get a good shot at the. This is Windy Acres here. This is the first complex that they built. A real big asset to Ellenburg and for the seniors.
Well, I was very proud to be on the one that went up in the mid-'70s in Champlain on the committee.
Oh yeah.
Vice president of that committee that put up the Northern Tier housing. And
yeah.
I was one of the first in the county, I think, outside of Plattsburgh.
Yeah.
It was.
Well, anyway, this is the rectory here.
Yeah.
we have a new pastor, Father Joe Trombley, just finishing a project here. This is why you see my scaffolds there. I'm installing a handicap ramp, and I redid the whole entrance there. My door people are supposed to be in today. We just added that door to the west there, yeah, where they'll, and then their elevator will be directly in line with that door. And I just see on the news the other night where the churchgoers are beginning to get on that issue, get on the handicap entrances to churches. I don't know why they used to always build churches on the high roads, and this is their town hall,
Catholic hall. Catholic hall on the left.
Yeah, and they hold the religious instructions and the senior citizens congregated meals. And this is our. This used to be the nuns' place here where they stayed, but as you know, they couldn't afford to stay in, and so now it's a town complex, and so we have our post office in there, and the state police satellite, and Dr. Southwick's office, and comes up twice a week, and we have our JCEO. So it's a good building, nice building. That was built by Father Menard's father, and about 30 years ago. So this year is we're entering Glenn's Way here. This is Breezy Acres here. This was the last complex. They just finished this a year ago, and we're coming to the ceremony.
And they're hoping for another phase too.
Yeah.
Right? This is phase 2, and hoping for a third.
The third phase will be more of a hospital. They'll have a nurse. Not a hospital, but it'll be people that can't take care of themselves. They'll be. They'll have a nurse available. They have a name for it, and but I just
managed care or whatever.
Managed care. That's what it is. And then this year was their first phase, and this is Windy Acres, and really neat, as you can see. It's grounds are well maintained. For the first time, we have people that never had running water or bathroom facilities. They're in there and they're living like queens and kings.
More queens than kings, though. I know there weren't too many men when we opened up ours in Champlain. I think there were 2 men.
Is that right?
Henry Boris, and I'm not sure if Elmer Patnode was in there initially or he came in later. But there are only 2 men. 2 men. Okay, let's go back out the same way.
Yeah.
If you don't mind.
Well, they got at their entrance sign.
Yeah. So this went in 1991. Huh?
Yeah. How time goes by.
Wayne Cashman, the manager.
Yeah. He does a good job managing.
Yep. When we built ours in Champlain, I think we got our the Catholic Charities was very much involved. They've been involved with they gave you guidance and stuff. And some of our people went to Dexter, New York. Saw one there. We went with 4 apartment housing. That's why there's 6 buildings in the Champlain one, as opposed to this type. This type here seems to become more popular.
Yeah, are they single story?
No, 2 stories.
See, this is the problem that we ran into. 2 stories.
A lot of complaints from people.
Yeah,
why'd you go? Well, it was new. It was we didn't have a lot of
all the handicap requirements.
We didn't have the experience either. We didn't have a lot of housing to look at and learn from other people. We were blazing the trail sort of in the county.
You definitely got to have the handicap. You got to have the elevators.
Yeah.
And then the elevators are so expensive.
Yeah.
The one in Lime Mountain, I don't know, it took them years. And they got to be a certain size, to get a stretcher in it.
Right.
So, that handicap accessibility is very important. Now we do this is the Knights of Columbus Hall here.
Very small little hall.
44, 41 are council, and this is our school. School that was built in 37 and is still in better condition than the new one that they built. That school is just like the original one.
Survived that little fire they had a few years back.
Yeah, but they brought it right back to the original. You'd never know.
Yep, looks better than
the
ever.
Same woodwork and same roof, slate roof, marble floors. And, just and same as the garage. I put that roof on the garage here about 10 years ago, but other than that, I think that's the only thing that they did. And of course, this is an added wing that they did back in the late 50s, early 60s, just before the merger.
Yeah, the merger took place in the school year of 70, 71.
Was it 71? Yeah.
70, 71. Schools in Lion Mountain, Altona, and Ellenburg formed to become Northern Adirondack, and at the same time, Northeastern Clinton was formed.
This is the pre-start building they just built here a year ago.
That's nice.
Isn't that a nice building?
Nice looking.
Yeah.
Doesn't look like real brick, so, but it's
well.
Nice.
I guess it's hard to get brick now to match.
Yeah.
So they either had to go one way or the other. I guess that's why.
It's nice. I think that's a nice idea.
I went to get some brick here. What in the world did I have to do? And the ground is frozen.
Yeah, you can
and would you believe they said that because of all the disasters that the large contractors were buying them just as fast as they were being made in the factory, and the guy in Plattsburgh told me he had to put in his order 2 years ahead of time.
Yeah, well, I know this spring they were talking about a big sheetrock shortage with all the all the hurricanes and floods and natural disasters we've had in the U.S. over the.
See, this is why if you see those big things, I don't know if you see my resolution that I put on the floor to get natural gas, but see, they're all hooked up here. When they built this school here, it was all electrically, and so it was way too expensive, and so a couple of years ago they converted over to gas. So that's why we have those big gas tanks. But if we could ever they're all ready to tap on. If we can ever get the natural gas up here, which would be a big asset, not only for us, but then they could go to Chateauguay, Franklin County, and where they're an attraction for industry. And that's what these big companies look for you. The second alternative.
Yeah, they want that.
Yeah. So, of course, you're familiar with your way around here, and you carry the several games here.
Like I said, I left here at 10:30 last night.
10 and back up at 9 this morning. Kelly, you could have stayed all night at my house.
Yeah, I should have.
We have plenty of bedrooms, and we have 5 bedrooms.
That's an invitation to all you people here. If you're ever stuck in Ellenburg, just stop into Sam.
That's what I tell them, right? Yeah, we have friends from, regardless where they're from, Champlain or Peru. We've got one young teacher teaching from Peru, and that's what I tell them. Then we'll just take. We didn't hit the turnpike.
We didn't.
Did we hit the turnpike? No, we went right down 11.
Also, didn't take the stretch up to the House of Prayer on the old. Look out! There is a car coming. All right, we've got clear sailing now. We'll take the old 190, the Brainersville Road there.
Didn't we go up this? Yeah, I think when we went to Merrill, we hit that road.
Yeah, well, we went.
And
we didn't get it on the way back.
Yeah, and we did hit this. What am I doing here?
No, we didn't hit this part here.
Oh, I thought No, it was from Cold Springs down we hit. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so we got a whole new siding job going on here.
Yeah.
We got a tremendous job there. Yeah, this used to be the old town hall here, before they moved into the municipal building. Yeah, we'll turn around here because we took the Cold Springs Road down there. That's what threw me for a loop. Before I built where I'm building now, I was clearing this lot, and Al Buskey, remember Trooper Buskey?
Yep.
Well, he had a friend of his that was a trooper also, and he was being transferred. And he said, "Gee, Sam," he said, "you'd be much better off building over in Route 11 where I am now than you would be here." And I said, "Gee," I said, "we just bought this lot." Well, he says, "Come on, take a look at it." So he was right. Of course, we had water back there, and this was the LeClaire farm. It was in the LeClaire family for years and years, and Spain or now Husband. And this is our convenient station here, run by the county.
Yeah.
This is our county garage here, which is convenient for this area. They work all the western end of the county.
recall, you fought to keep that open, weren't you?
Yep.
Thinking of closing that at one
Exactly.
point? Yeah, if we could go up as far as the House of Prayer on this, on the back road here.
Yeah.
We went up the other road.
Okay. The new Route 190 we did.
Okay, the new
yeah.
one. Yeah,
Okay.
the
You're
old
right.
one. I think we did the old one, but we didn't do the new one.
Yeah. And then I'd like to shoot across and do bring you up on Smith Road.
Okay, where's Smith Road?
That would be south.
Okay.
That's where my parents were born and brought up.
We're getting some snow flurries
Yeah,
here.
that's what they said. We were gonna get some. Be nice if it'd be white for Christmas. Not a whole lot, but
Just enough to cover the ground.
yeah. This was my development here.
This was yours?
Yeah, and with the intentions, I was going to have, and then my roads were all 300 feet apart, right down to the river, and it was my intention that when they merged the school, that I could sell lots. But unfortunately, the majority of the teachers rather live in the Plattsburgh area, and they'd rather travel, and so that didn't go over. But anyway, I was able to sell the road fronts, and so that's the money that I used by selling the lots to build my dam. And one of my access roads here.
Yeah, in the back of your trailer park.
State just resurfaced this road here again last fall. And, by the end of next year, every state highway in my legislative area will be just about all rebuilt.
Yeah, but except for a little stretch near Brainerdville, this whole road right through to Malone is in good shape.
Yep.
So, and they've been working on the other end of it, so I would imagine
Franklin. Yeah, they
it won't
did
be
this.
long
Yeah.
that the whole thing will be in great shape.
Yeah. And then Route 11, as you know, is under construction, and that's got to be, it will be all completed by November of 2000.
And we're taping this December 23rd, 1999. We have Sam Trombley behind the wheel. My name is Calvin Castine, and we're doing this to record how the town of Ellenburg looked at the close of the 1990s, end of the decade, the end of the century, and the end of the millennium. And we just thought it'd be a nice idea to record our towns in the northern tier of Clinton County for future people to look at, marvel at how wonderful we had it back here.
Yep. Real good. Crossing the Great Chazy River again.
It winds its way anywhere it wants to go, right?
Yep. It's a popular trout stream.
We've got about 2 hours and 3 minutes worth of tape so far, so we've got another 27 or so minutes of tape that we can put on here.
27. Okay, I'll rush right up to it.
But with a lot of time, I think we got lots of time, except for the fact that it's getting to be 11:15. Time flies, Sam.
Yeah, when we're having fun. It's the Cashman farm here. They just sold out a couple years ago. We had a good sugar bush business going also. Yeah, we did that. We did the Brandy Brook. I think we covered pretty much this end of the town. I just bring you up on the Smith Road there, Trombley Road too. My guys just taking them longer. All they had to do was put that light up there.
Well, they're on the Sam Trombley's payroll, so they're taking their time.
No, yeah, they usually, no, they push it right around. They must be so difficult to find parts, you know. One little part can tie you up for...
Aren't they worried about the wind getting underneath that, lifting that up?
Oh, yeah, but we got it well secured. And talking about wind, and I had to, I wasn't just going to put the thing up there, and I trying to find out how much weight I needed on the bottom to hold that tower from going over. Nobody could really tell me, so I knew that the county had installed our 100-foot tower, so I called on Rose, and then he referred me over to Jim King, and Jim King He said, "Oh, what I can tell you," he said, "it's 105, 115 feet." And he said it took us 55 yards of concrete. And a yard of concrete weighs a ton and a half. So breaking it down footage-wise, it broke down to 15 and a half to 16 yards. So I think we have enough weight where it'll never blow over.
All right, when we get to the center, I'd like you to stop again, and I'll switch batteries there. This battery's gonna. Once we get to the stop sign up, we'll leave up here.
I'll by the old milk factory there. I'll just give me time to stretch my legs out a little bit. I don't even dare to mention smoking.
Pollute your lungs. Hopefully in years in the future there'll be fewer smokers, Sam.
Oh, it's happening now. Sorry to do some backtracking, but to get everything
That's all right.
in, I guess we have to do it.
I'd like to. I think I only shot out one side coming down the old 190 there. So
oh, okay.
Now where's the Smith Road?
A little further south.
Okay. So we gotta head that way anyway, then, right?
Yeah.
All right. Another view of the fire station.
Yeah, they did a nice job at their fire station. Lauren Brooks, remember Lauren Brooks?
Yeah.
He'd roll over in his grave if he'd see his house like that. That's where he lived for years. Delorla Bombard's welding shop. Like I said, they're all talented people who do anything out of metal. My brother-in-law, Leo Ferretti, he owned his farm. Trombley's owned it now. Wayne Trombley. Most of the Trombleys are all farmers. They like what they're doing. You notice all the new modern way of farming, they don't need the big hip roof barns now. They can stack their hay right outside.
Yeah.
Instead of making a right here, I'm just going to go down the hill to show you where... No, I guess you've seen where I was born and brought up. I guess I told you, right?
Is it on the left?
No,
Right?
no, it was on the on our right.
No, you probably see it because we're shooting out on the left. So
okay.
let's go there.
Oh yeah, you got to see where
we got to see where
I was.
It all began.
Yep.
There's the Smith Road. We'll be coming back to that.
Yes.
But let's go to the end of this.
Okay.
Then we'll take the Smith.
Yeah.
We'll
This
come
is
back
where I
to
was
this
born and brought up, right here. Of course, we had a large dairy barn on both sides of the road. These houses here we had for our hired help, but this was the home farm right here. We had a huge barn in the back. These two buildings right here, we kept them for our hired help.
Uh-huh.
And my grandmother was here, and of course she never had water. And
Your grandmother didn't live in that house?
Bathroom facility. No, not in that house. And I remember every night after chores, I'd come over and I'd split her wood, and I'd bring her water for the next day and do all her carpenter work. Owned by the Bombards now. It was Boyer back in our days. Oh, this is going to work out because coming back I can bring you around the Arnold Road. We haven't did that.
Okay. We've got another half hour or so.
So
put on this
okay,
tape,
I think we can get it all in.
I think we're doing all right.
Yeah, we're doing good.
We may have, I'm not sure on that plank road if I did
Sides.
both sides when I did Alzona or not. If we have time, we'll do the plank. If not, we won't.
Hillcrest Farm, these people are big farmers too. All the family stayed, and as you see, 4 or 5 houses there. They all big asset in town, big taxpayers. We're coming on to Lauren LeBombard's farm. Here's another guy that started out with me. He was my superintendent for 3 to 4 years, if I remember. And took over his father's farm, and his father got done, and he just built on. That's one of those new type barns there, as you see in the back.
The Quonset huts.
Yeah,
The roof, right?
yeah, they're the less expensive way to go, and he just built himself a new house here. This is J.R. Trombley's farm here. Wife Linda works at the hospital. talking about Roy Dominy,
Uh-huh.
the house that we'll be coming onto here, that's where he lived. And Mildred Dominy, his wife, who I told you was the president of the senior housing, she was my first, second, and third grade teacher. So I said she's responsible for what I am, and turned out to be, along with Mrs. Revenue. She was another good teacher of mine. So we're going to finish the way down to the cars and then come back.
Well, I don't think it's fair of you to blame those nice old ladies for how you turned out, Sam.
Yeah, well, they taught me right. My folks taught me my morals. Bill Fritz, Jim Fritz, a gym teacher, and his wife there, you knew them. This is where the post office used to be here, Bernard Higgs. We played music together for years. Silvers, yeah. Greg LeBert, you know him. This is where he lives right here. Yeah. And they opened up a craft. His wife did over here. So we'll just turn around here now and we'll go back and I think it's safe to make a...
I'll keep the camera rolling here.
Okay.
Put your signal light on. We got somebody coming back with us. They caught on. All right, we'll be heading back up to the Smith Road. We'll be covering ground we've already covered, so we're going to shut the camera off right now.
Smith.
All right, we're picking up on the Arno Road, and that last house we saw in the corner there, the yellow one, that's Steve Chilton's house, and I recall Debbie Chilton telling me that was a very historic building for a stop, a little inn or whatever.
It was a store too.
Many years in the store.
Yeah.
So right there at the corners. On the Arno Road now, not much development here, but who knows? 50 years, 100 years from now, what this might look like. Might even be a house on it someday. Doesn't look like very well sanded though, so we got to watch.
Yeah, it's, the reason why you don't pick it up is that
it's that ore sand.
It's that ore sand. That's why you don't notice it that much.
I see. That's good, gritty stuff.
Oh yeah. And would you believe though the county engineers don't let us use it?
County roads?
Yeah, no, they say that it
deteriorates the road probably.
No, they said it just slides off the ice, but we found it to be really effective here in the town of Ellenburg. And they can purchase this much cheaper than they can the ordinary sand too, but evidently you have to. I'm just going to make a right here, but over to the left. This is where the road would bring us back to another farm that we own. I owned it for years, and
McCoy Road.
Yeah, McCoy. Yeah, and Mildred Dominy. That was her people. That's where she was born and brought up, and she was a McCoy.
The real McCoy.
Yes, she is.
I got a cat here.
And I sold that farm to a doctor from New York City. And that's where I got the money to, I used that money to build my development. This was St. Cardinal's, you don't call them a junkyard. They got a better modern name for it.
That's where the Arno Road got its name?
Yeah, from Arnold's. That was their homestead. He worked in real estate for years and years. But you see, it's beginning to develop.
There's a house.
So you have a new house here.
Yeah. As I said, 50 years from now, who knows?
Mm-hmm. So, good high land, drains good.
You wanted to take us to this highest point, but we might be in the middle of a snowstorm when we get there and not be able to see anything.
I'm trying to remember the young gal that was working for WPTC. There was a bad fire up there, and it was in Christmas Eve night. And so she wanted to come up. She stopped and picked me up and said, and gee, was it blowing and storming? I think she almost froze her hands while we were up there. For the life of me, I can't remember her name. She was a good-looking girl. I remember that.
They have a habit of hiring good-looking girls.
Oh, yes.
Or women, we should say.
Yeah.
A nice farm here.
Yeah, this is the Brunette farm. This is what I was saying. You know,
okay.
and all the boys.
All right,
All the boys stayed, and they all built.
Okay, yeah, never noticed. That house does a
Yeah.
nice job with his decorations.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I don't know if he's got his Christmas tree. He usually puts a Christmas tree up on the top of the silo there.
Yeah, in fact, Bob, Ben, and I did a little half-hour story on him.
Oh, did you?
Yeah. His decorations, his old farm equipment and stuff.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Morris. That's the father. He lives up here now and turned the farm over to the boys. He's one of a kind. He was helping the boys one day, and the manure spreader on hook detached from the tractor and fell on his feet and had to remove the whole 5 toes.
Ouch.
And so anyway, he just kept around smiling, and I ran into him one day, and I said, gee, how are you recovering? Oh, he said, I didn't need him anyway. You know, he's that type of a guy. He put in a little humor there.
Yeah.
Regardless of...
Trying to make the best of it.
Yeah.
All right, Smith
Son
Road.
of a gun. I never brought you up that little street up there.
Well, let's go up that little street.
That was a popular little street, too, at one time.
20 minutes or so tape here, so we're
Okay. Just move right around here now.
What's this little street going to be called here, Sam?
Again, I don't dare to
I don't know.
until I see, because they've all been changed, and I don't want to confuse anybody. We're having a problem right now with Route 191 in Minor Farm Road in
Yeah.
Altona. I'm having
Yeah.
a devil of a time trying to get that Carpenter Street.
Yeah.
I'm in the Carpenter Street here now.
Yeah, I guess that happened within the last month or so.
Yeah, and it didn't even come to the county highway committee or anything. And Father Gilbert, he came up. I was working at church the other day, and gee, he went up one side of me and down the other. And I said, I'm telling you, Father, I said, we weren't aware. He said, you're supposed to be looking after us on the county level. I says, I am. But I said, this is one that got by me. But it was done through the 911, and there's been some confusion there. Jim King has been in the hospital. He's not feeling well. We're hoping that he recovers.
Expeditiously.
Yeah, especially for everybody over the New Year's. Coming into 2000 there, we're depending highly on it.
Yeah, everybody's worried at this point. We should definitely make note of that.
That's why
Gloom and doom.
That's why I put, after my ice storm experience, a lot of people didn't have my number, so when I put out my little ad in the paper the other day, I made sure that...
I want to publicly chastise you, Sam. You listed all these little towns, but you didn't mention Irona.
Irona wasn't on there?
No. I said, how could he forget Irona in that ad in the paper? He got Forest in there and all these other little places. But...
Oh, I got to look at that. They were supposed to have been in there. They were supposed to have been in there. I made sure not to. I didn't get it.
Unless I read it wrong, but I saw it and I didn't notice Irona in there. And I said,
See, they called me back last Saturday, and well, I had Forest.
yeah, Forest was in there.
Forest in Irona. Oh, I got to look at that. They called me back early last Saturday morning, and that they wanted to see me. And so
Republican?
Yeah. So I got down there, and it was after 12 o'clock. The front door was locked. And so I went to the back door, and fortunately enough, it was unlocked, but they were having a problem finding the photos, and they were in a hurry, and I was in a hurry. I hadn't brought my wife Christmas shopping yet. She was a little upset because I was taking too much time.
Everybody's upset with you. The priest, your wife.
Yeah. Yeah, it hasn't been a good season.
Don't you get along with anybody, Sam? That little cemetery back there. What's that cemetery?
Kelly, we just got that cleaned up too here. The town took that project over. I wanted to mention that, but you were talking Irona, and you
got you all upset here.
Yeah. Because gee, when I don't like to leave a place out. If it wasn't done deliberately.
That looks like an old cemetery that went by.
Yeah. I remember when I was campaigning, there's a little house right here.
Yeah.
When I walked into the shed, the guy had half a dozen rats hung on a clothesline. I said, "Oh my God!" I said, "What is this for?" We got time to just this is the
goes to our left. We're going straight.
I just got to bring you up here. This is just a short one here.
All right.
Now this is a Barcombe farm up here.
So that guy sell furs, or what is he doing with the rats?
Well, he said, I have skunks, and he said, you do this, you hang one rat. He said, you'll never see another skunk. Well, I said, I don't know which is worse.
I know a lot of rats that should have been hung over the years.
I'm sure. So this is the Barcombe. I don't know if you remember Stanley Barcombe. He's a former veteran, and we can turn around here. And he was road superintendent.
There's a culvert right here.
Yeah.
Okay. That'll take us up to the Bradley Pond up there, probably?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep. You didn't lose your sense of direction.
This is not a road around here. That little path back there is not a road.
Would you believe that's the only section in this area through the ice storm that the maple trees didn't get hit?
Huh.
Isn't that something?
Yeah.
Matter of fact, I think it was the Gadways. Of course, they got hit hard.
Yeah.
No, not Gadway. Leonard drowned.
Yeah. Leonard.
So he took his equipment. He came up here and he tapped those trees up.
Yeah, Leonard has had his share of bad luck and enough for everybody else too.
Yeah. But there again, he just keeps smiling.
Very religious family.
Yep.
Just
Yeah.
He just shrugs it off.
Mm-hmm.
Keeps going, but just before that ice storm hit, his whole house burned. He was out of town. He lost his heavy equipment. He lost his house.
Yeah.
He was out visiting his daughter, and he comes back to that right in the middle of the ice storm, and finds he hasn't got a place to live.
Yeah. How I knew right off is that, of course, I have a deer yard at a campsite, and they had to be get their tuberculosis shots, and so I knew that he had bought deer from me previously. I knew he was in the business, and so I called him for his dart gun, and that's when he told me, he said, "Sam, when I lost my house, I lost everything." Now this is where my grandfather's farm was. That's where my mother was raised. They call that the LeClaire Road.
Your mother's maiden name was?
LeClaire.
LeClaire.
Yeah.
Okay.
Beautiful woman she was. Still is, unfortunately. She's got Alzheimer's in the nursing home now. How we would dance. And you know something, even though she's unable to speak or anything, when I walk in that room, that foot starts to go.
Something in her remembers that.
She connects me with the dancing.
She might not know you're her son, but she knows you dance, right?
Yeah.
That's a disease that they're slowly making progress on, but until recently, that's 15 years ago, you never heard of Alzheimer's disease.
Yeah.
15, 20 years ago, it was there, but we didn't know it. We didn't have a name for it.
We would call those people crazy, when we'd see them act a little differently.
Yeah.
Now, talking about Jim King, this is the old Bushy place here. He tells me that he was related with these people.
Well, we're going down a dead-end road here. How come?
Yes, it comes to a dead end.
This is the Trombley Road?
Trombley Road, We just came off from Smith.
We have to go on the Trombley Road.
Exactly. Right? Yeah, this is where my father was born and brought up.
Oh, yeah. We certainly can't pass up this.
No. Yeah, ran a farm up here, and he moved down to Ellenburg Center there. And I just showed you the home farm.
Of course, if you get into the higher elevations, the snow gets a little deeper.
I wish it'd be a nice, clear day there. You want to get as good a view, but now this is where Ellenburg Mountain. You've heard of Ellenburg Mountain?
Yes.
This is Ellenburg Mountain, and
I can see it out my backyard.
Sue and Paul Maher. As a matter of fact, I just got a Christmas card from them this morning. New York City. They bought it about 8 years ago. They own all of Ellenburg Mountain. We have 2 flat spots in the county for our radio system, and so Jim King was telling me that the engineer was telling me if we could get on top of Ellenburg Mountain, we'd need a very short antenna area up there. And so anyway, they were telling me that it would be cheaper to come in, shorter to come in from Chazy Lake to Ellenburg Mountain than it would be from coming from this direction.
We're going over almost 60 there, Sam, on these snowy roads.
Yeah, isn't that something again? And we're climbing. Yeah. But you see all the houses, and I'm sure that this is why they're building up here. They're buying the view, you know.
Yeah. The other side of Ellenburg Mountain kind of drops off quick. There's no roads on the other side. It's just kind of a...
Well, you come into Chazy Lake, yeah.
It's a quick drop there.
It comes right out where... now, this was my Uncle Charlie's place here, Charlie Trombley. And,
not the race car driver,
no. No, look at the nice house that's built over there.
How much further are we going on this dead end?
There's a school teacher. He teaches in Malone. He has a windmill up here. I think the windmill went down, though. And but keep following that road. That road brings you right up to Ellenburg Mountain.
Huh.
Yeah, no, he would generate his own power.
So that's a seasonal road? Is that a town road?
No, it's just seasonal road now.
Yeah, but it's a town road though, right?
All season. I don't even know if they wrote it off the map yet or not.
But it there's property back there, so you can't just leave them landlocked.
Yeah. I don't know what the deal is on that. But anyway, this guy, he teaches out of Malone. And they moved from downstate to come up here now. No, see, it's so hazy down there. You won't be able to see Montreal, but I'm telling you,
you can actually see Montreal from up here in a clear day.
Oh, son of a gun, I guess so.
Huh.
And that night, like I said, you can almost count every street light. It's on a nice clear night there. It's a real sight.
This point right here, is this the highest point
right here? Just as they were breaking over the ground, right here. Yeah, right here. Well, I'm telling you.
Across from Uncle Charlie's. And where was your father's place?
Originally my father, that was a home place. Yeah, yeah. And that's where they were.
Over.
Yeah. And then the LeClaire Road is just about half a mile, and they tell me my father would walk across, and that's how he got to meet my mother.
And went through the backwoods there.
Yeah. They tell me one night he was going over, and there's a bobcat, and they tell me he grabbed that bobcat by the hind feet and killed it.
Northern Adirondack bobcat?
One like that. I'm told that Gerald Duprey's the one that got that one for Northern Adirondack.
That's on display in the school?
Yeah.
Yeah. So your grandfather was guarding the front gate, and your father snuck in the back through the woods?
Yeah. Never knew my grandfather. He died. They tell me my grandfather died in April. February, I guess, and I was born in March.
Well, he died a month before you were born, 37?
Yeah, either a month before or a month after. I never did get it straight. But I never knew him. But he came. That's how he migrated over here as a horse jockey. So I'm told. He dealt with. He was a successful businessman. He ran a logging company in the winter. I guess they would go in right after the holidays. They'd go in the woods. And my grandmother, she was the cook. And I guess they wouldn't come back out until spring. They cut wood all winter and had bunk beds, a place for the help loggers. And then he was also a horse jockey. Now this road here just continues on down by. You probably should show you one more place we have time. The Rhine place. A big Bill Rhine. He raised a large family, and they never had power or electricity up here. And I think he brought up a family of. I think there were either 10 or 12 kids.
We've got about 10 minutes of tape remaining.
10 minutes. Okay, so we'll be able to work it in.
Take your time. I don't want to see that speedometer hitting 70 again.
Not in these back roads. This road here is a county road. This is on the calendar for 2002 to be rebuilt. This is a shortcut for all the COs to and from Dannemora. It's a shortcut from Dannemora to whatever, Chattagate or Blind Mountain.
Will this hook up with the plank then?
Yes, comes right out the plank road, yeah. But it's being used a lot now by the COs. Sawmill back there.
I see that.
They generate their own power also.
There's no light poles up here.
No, okay, so I didn't have to tell you that. Talking about light pole, this is a road that little Sue, she died on us there now, trying to get electric power to her because she was on all these electrical machines to keep her alive. But unfortunately, she died before we got it through. Social service had $5,500 ready to go. A few of the New York State gas and electric guys was going to offer their labor to drop the poles, and they would have had to come in 5 poles. Well, anyway, we had it all pretty much all together. But she died before we were able to. That must have went by it. I'm sure it wasn't this far. Oh no, there it is, just ahead of us. Yeah, Bill Ryan. He always drove a new Dodge truck, but brought up his whole family right there. With,
no electricity.
No electricity, no water, and I can remember when they were living. Of course, our first house after we got married, we were 2 years without having bathroom facilities.
There's a pole there coming from somewhere. There's a telephone?
Those probably telephone. Yeah, they probably got. Or is it just a wire for something?
I don't know.
Yeah, but anyway, this was and how he used to like to hunt. He was a sharpshooter too. He had the dairy barn was right over here. He ran that clean.
I see a pole here, but then the wire running off into the woods.
Yeah, I don't know.
If we had more time, we'd have to follow that wire.
Yeah, I don't know if the telephone company wouldn't just run a special line, would they?
I don't know. If you want to pay for it, crosses the road here.
Yeah. Huh. Well, it doesn't look heavy enough to be electric. No, but does it end there?
It ends there. I don't know.
Isn't that something? I wonder.
Yeah, that's very
amazing.
A mystery. We have a mystery to end our tape here today.
Unless he has a generator and he had a friend there and they sent the power over by overhead line or something.
I don't know. Interesting. Interesting turn of events here. Head back down the road. We're going to shut the camera off and we'll close this in Ellenburg corners.
Just over to the left here. Buildings are all gone now.
Coming back on. There's
the road. It was Amos Trombley.
Amos Trombley had to raise a family up here without electricity?
Yeah, and right here. And I remember coming here, and of course back then when you visited a farmer, he always had to bring you out and show you the cows,
Of course.
And I can remember him lighting a lantern as we went in there.
Huh.
The same if anyone bought a new horse. Boy, we'd hurry up and get chores done. We had to go see that new horse.
Didn't have television to keep you occupied.
So.
No. And he said there was an old schoolhouse up there.
And there was a schoolhouse right there, yeah.
You'd think with isolated population here that there wouldn't be many schoolhouses in this back road here.
Well, it was pretty well popular. So you had the Trombley Road and you had
this is kind of a central location?
Yeah. And there was quite a few families and LeClaire's, the Trombleys, the LeClaire's, the Bushies. Yeah, now I'm told that we went by the Williamson place, and I'm told that that's where Mrs. Williamson started teaching. school that she taught at.
And for those of you viewing this, we made a U-turn. We're going back, heading toward the Plank Road, and we'll probably run out of tape around the time we get to the Plank Road. But so we're gonna. Any houses in the stretch here, Sam?
No,
Okay,
there's only one where that young Sue. I'm trying to think of her name. He'll come to me. Berto. Berto, that
little girl that died.
That died, yes.
Okay.
That we tried to get power to.
Okay, so we'll shut off and we'll pick it up on the Plank Road here. The name of this road again, is this the Smith or is this not?
Yeah, this is the Smith Road. Yeah, a county highway.
It looks like this would be a nice view here in a clear day.
Oh, yeah, same here. Your elevation, you know. Now, as you look over here, this is where that Sue Berto, and there's a electrical contractor that came up and installed the entrance free of charge. And oh, wait a minute here now. I see a wire going.
Well, they probably put it in. We're not that far away from the highway here.
Yeah, it would have needed 5 poles. And anyway, and then Ward Lumber donated the material to enclose the trailer. And I'm told that Ormsby came up and drilled a well. And
so they had everything going right except the poor girl died.
Yeah.
Okay, and this right by the, where are we here?
Right back
Plank.
on the Plank Road, yeah.
On the Plank.
Yeah.
And we're not going to go up to our right toward the Shazy Lake. We're just going to head down toward Ellenburg, and we're going to close out.
Yeah, everything to my west now is Ellenburg, and to your right, as you know, is Altona, which you shot.
Right. Which I shot. I'm not sure if, again, when I was going up with Ken Perry, if I shot out the front or the sides, because I'm hoping I shot out the front, because I should have known we wouldn't be coming down, but there's no real access to the Plank Road except up through the town of Denimore.
All right, right. Most of this land is wild land.
Yeah.
As you can see.
Yeah. But again, we'll get a view of this straightness of this highway.
Yeah, yeah. Again, is another.
And this, of course, this road had a lot of flooding
Oh,
problems.
did we ever? Where's water coming off the mountain? See?
Yeah. All the development seems to be on the Altona side. Here's a house.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is Rita DeMar. She's our bartender and waitress.
That's your place?
Yes. Been with us since we opened day one. A good employee.
You're only open in summer?
Yeah, May 1st, November 1st. Ray DeMars, I don't remember him. He had a grocery store here for years. He had a good business. He's in the Clinton County Nursing Home now.
Well, this tape might end abruptly here. The camera's telling me we're in the last 5 minutes of the videotape.
Oh, gee.
So again, I want to thank Sam Trombley. It's about 20 after 12 here. Sam gave up his morning of December 23rd. Don't have to tell anybody how busy the time of the year this is to begin with, and plus, as we saw just driving around, his construction company's in the middle of a few building projects. He had a man working on erecting a bicycle when we left. Santa Claus delivered to some
nephew of mine.
Grandchild?
Not grandchild, I'm sorry, my little grandchild, yeah.
So we appreciate you taking this morning off to take us on this guided tour, Sam. I'm sure people in the future will appreciate your efforts into taking this look at what Ellenburg looked like at the close of the millennium, the second millennium.
Well, it was a pleasure being with you as always, Calvin, and gee, this is going to be history, and what a wonderful idea you had, and what a souvenir this will be for many, many of us. I know I'm going to be anxious to purchase one of these tapes for all of my children and grandchildren to have for in the future. This is where I missed the boat when I was young. That's why when you ask me about the heritage of my people, you know, when you're young, most of us
Care less.
Yeah, could care less. Now, you know, my father deceased when I was young, and my mother's in a nursing home and with Alzheimer's, and I know very little of my family history. And, if I had to do it over again, or if we had something like this, plug in a tape, for those that get caught the same as I did, you know, it'd bring you up to date with everything. So it's really a plus for all of us, and I was just happy to do it. And the work is still going to be there when I get home.
Never sure. Whose farm is this? This nice farm here on the left.
Landor Farm. They had tough times too. Their farm burnt about 10 years ago, but they picked themselves right back up and rebuilt, and they're going strong. The boys are running it. And the mother's still on the home farm, so they did okay. Down here, I want to pick you up Mrs. Reynolds. Remember, I was telling you that we had the wood market when we were on the farm. I think she's the only one that's existing that would buying wood from us back then. One of our
Still around, huh?
Yeah, one of our steady customers right here. Yeah, Mrs. Reynolds. I remember delivering wood in that back shed. That back shed's still there. Of course, we'd have to do it after tours. I know some nights it'd be 10:30 before I'd get there. So I guess this is. I guess we've covered it all. And before I leave you, though, Calvin, I want to wish you Merry Christmas and Happy New Year, along with all my constituents. And I enjoyed my year. And, looking forward for a happy year 2000, Y2K.
Yeah.
And hopefully we don't have any
No major disasters.
no major disasters. But if they do, my number is 594-7742 or 594-7109. And I'm going to be, I'll be home right in my office all through New Year's Eve. So I'll be.
Well, this will be shown after New Year's Eve, so.
And I'll be tied in with the hotline, their emergency preparedness. So if there is any problems, I'll be able to direct the people or get them help, whatever is, happens to be needed at the time.
Okay, and this is how one of our towns in the northern tier looked at the end of the decade of the 1990s, the end of the 20th century.